to start the stream. Here we go. I actually should have had my background as the Nightmare Fractal, actually, shouldn't I? I've made a mistake.
You could go in and do that, can't you?
I guess I could go and move there right now. In fact, maybe I will.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Nightmare Fractal. Here we go, team.
Oh no, you're live, Neato.
Oh, actually, no, I don't think this is actually a good idea.
Getting an advertisement for...
I'm just gonna see a terrible view of everything. I'm going back into the Special Forces arena. I want another goal.
The same crappy game they keep trying to push every single day.
Which game is it?
For weeks now.
Don't say that about Guild Wars 2.
Battlefield 1.
Wow.
Battlefield 1.
Like that's been
Battlefield Guild Wars.
For weeks, just advertise something else.
The only thing I've seen about Battlefield 1 ever is a bunch of GIFs of a person looking at a tank going like this, and the tank going like this back. And then they don't kill each other. That's the only thing I've seen.
They made friends.
That sounds pretty exciting to me.
Just like our super friendly Guild Wars 2 community.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Guild Wars 2.
Everybody's friends.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, about friendly Guild Wars 2 community stuff. What's been happening in the last 2 weeks now? Because what did we do last week? We weren't here.
I don't know. I think there was some kind of elitism setup or something.
Oh, right. Derpy Moa wiped his raid because he got feared at Slothazor.
That was one of the things that happened. That is one of the things that happened. There was
a raid tournament. It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah, huge amount of people here. It was like 2,000 almost, wasn't it?
Yeah! It would have been more if my internet had survived.
So it went pretty well.
Yes.
Right? What can you do next time to make it even better? Besides your internet being your internet.
Nothing, it was perfect.
Nothing? Perfect?
No, we're going to get more raid wings. More raid wings. And then I'm gonna hire slaves to do all the admin. So instead of having breaks, we can just have we're gonna have commentary and analysis of the previous games. We've got seamless content the entire time.
Somebody seems to want us to talk about something.
Oh right.
DPS meters. Well, we're never getting DPS meters apparently. So there you go. Discussion's over.
I guess we can start off with the DPS meters, right?
Do we?
Sure.
Do you want to talk DPS meters, Brazil, or do you not really care anymore?
So I've made I'm gonna. This is gonna be quite the monologue. So get ready. I'm
ready. I'm ready.
Should I go get something to eat or?
Let's start off with DPS meters that just read the combat log. Those are bad, and you shouldn't use them. And here's why: because the combat log that is displayed in the game is inaccurate. And interesting stuff happens, like, lifesteal damage not showing up, or damage disappearing, or just stuff being left out, etc., etc. And those particular meters, most of the ones I've seen, there's been one exception, and it was never made public. Only Boots and I and Nemesis ever saw it. And it actually had the capacity to split between targets and differentiate because it was such a good meter. But other
still
meters
reading
don't
the combat log.
Yeah, it still read the combat log, so it was still flawed and had the same flaws. But with the other ones that are out there, I'm not gonna name and shame. Like if you just start cleaving 1 million targets, your DPS goes up, and that's just a fake bloated number that doesn't matter. And if you just spam epidemic bounces off everything, so I'm doing 30k DPS, it doesn't matter. That number is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything at all. And so
it's the number I cared most about in World of Warcraft when I was fighting Onyxia and all her whelps came out. I just
cleave the whelp.
The knives.
Inflated numbers, yeah.
So then that brings up, well, how do we get your DPS? And to do that, we have to go through memory. So the easiest way to get DPS is to look at the enemy's health, read what it is, and take away time that you've spent fighting it and what the health is being reduced by. So easy. Now there's a problem with that, because if there are 10 people hitting the boss, it's going to be your group DPS. It's not just going to be yours. So solution to that is hook the combat log in the game, or hook the floaters when they're being drawn in DirectX, and read what's happening there, and then put that as a personal DPS on the screen. Then you have the group DPS, you have your personal DPS, and you can get your percentage of what you're doing in relation to the group's DPS.
Can you have a program? Sorry, Brazil. Can you have a program that is linked with the rest of your group mates?
Yeah, it turns out you actually don't even need that.
Nope.
Because
you can spy on people.
Funnily enough, I've spoken with people about this. Who, like, I don't know anything about software engineering. I don't know anything about any of this. This is just how it's been explained to me by people that do. So it turns out that the game has very interesting things in memory, like people's gear and what other power builds are doing within a certain proximity of you. So you can literally pull, if it's a power build, you can pull their literal exact DPS and read it, and you can know what it is. You can know what gear they have on. You can know their HP, etc., etc. That all of that information is there. And as far as like condition
in your
damage,
own memory,
you can have that in a program that reads it. Yes, and the way that traits and things are applied, traits, etc., are all invisible buffs that are applied to characters. So you can read those too, and you can see builds and gear, and you can estimate what condition damage DPS would be, someone running a condition damage build. So you can measure group DPS by yourself. You don't need programs that run to a server and sync everything up. You don't need any of that. So now what's happened is you have people running around with their memory readers, and they see, oh, hey, look at this. I'm 30% of this raid group's DPS by myself, and that's accurate. That's accurate. And you see people running Nomad's gear on Staff Guardians, and it's just like, okay, now I understand. And you see people running Wanderers, Chronomancers, like, there are screenshots that float around. If you know where to look to see them float by, you can see them.
Or Sentinel trinkets on
Sentinel
Matthias.
On Matthias. But the hacks, though.
But the hacks, though.
I think that ArenaNet knows all of this stuff, because if we know it, they have to know it. I mean, essentially. And if it's going to make people mad, and it's going to break people's realities whenever they see, hey, I play an Elementalist with Berserker gear. I'm doing 6k DPS, but QT says I should be doing 40k. When they see there's such a disparity, they'll probably they'll just explode. Because they don't think that's the case. People think they're doing significantly more DPS than they are. People think that they're like, it's just, there's this whole reality that just doesn't exist. And when people realize that it does exist, or however you want to word that, it's just going to break people. It's going to be nuts.
Delusional.
Would you say the community is delusional, Brazil?
And like the thing about it is, it doesn't matter if ANET gives us DPS meters at this point. Like, who cares? Because this is happening. This is what has occurred because they haven't given us any of these things. People are using this stuff now.
Right,
so
but
they've created a problem because they chose not to solve a problem. And now at this point, if they do solve the problem, they're going to give it to everyone, and then that's just going to crush all the people who are unaware of it, opposed to the people who are aware of it crushing the people who are unaware of it. Or there's the option again, because this is something very vital to mention, and I should have started off with it. A DPS meter is a tool, and tools are not inherently evil, and they're not inherently good. If you've ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, monkeys pick up rocks and sticks, and then they figure out that they can kill other monkeys with it. It's a tool. It's not good or bad. It's the use. So you can use a DPS meter to get good at the game.
So you're saying guns don't kill people, people kill people?
Yes. I'm going to quote Evel Knievel here. I'm going to say that God created all men, and baseball bats and Smith and Wesson made them equal. That's kind of an asinine quote by a redneck stunt devil, but whatever. It's just kind of funny in the context. But it's a tool. People are obviously going to use it for good. People are going to use it for bad. And whenever there is no official tool provided and people want the result, and it turns out the information is there because we're curious and we explore, those people that have the capability will develop their own tool, and that's happened. There are several of these tools out there. There are tools that maybe don't break the terms of service. They just read the combat log, but they create the same functionality with server connection to read other people's DPS. Like, that's an estimation, and it's not really accurate or correct, but it still happens. But then you have it happening accurately and scarily at a deep level with information that's just in the game, and you just have to know where to hook it. So, interesting. I'll just go ahead and answer this question. I really don't think ArenaNet should give us DPS meters because it's gonna just make a huge shit, and it's not gonna be happy for anyone.
I think I agree with you.
I'm being honest here. I have seen people, and I have some level of perspective from the other side, from where people want it to go. And people have this idea. People want their idea of the reality that would come. They don't want the reality. And that's a problem. I think it just needs to... Do I think that they should ban people who use the meters? I mean, maybe, maybe not. They violate the terms of service.
It depends if it becomes a big problem, I guess.
They violate the terms of service, but like so does Machinima Studio, which I mean, I use that stuff to get footage for the raid tournament and nothing else. That's the first time I installed it, and I deleted it right afterwards. YOLO Mouse violates the terms of service, but they've okayed it because it's a DLL that hooks your mouse cursor in DirectX, and it just like redraws a new one. That's modifying the game. It's modifying the DirectX. That literally violates the terms of service, but they okayed it.
I predict we'll see a Reddit post within the next couple of months that somebody claiming that they got banned and they did nothing wrong.
I love those threads because it always turns out that they did something else, you know?
And the response will be, well, you used a third-party thing that reads the memory and you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. I mean, how... There's a possibility in the future of maybe they have a stance right now of letting sleeping dogs lie and not banning people who use the Machinima program or the DPS meter. But if people start like making small alterations to these programs to do things that aren't just DPS, I mean, you could see a big ban wave coming. Because
they do them in waves anyway.
I mean,
so if they're gonna do it, you wouldn't have seen it yet.
This particular mod or you know hack, if you want to call it that, it literally allows you to gear check people and then kick them if they're running terrible gear. I mean, I think it's kind of funny actually. Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. So, I'm in a pug. Oh, someone's running Rampager Necromancer. Well, that's actually pretty funny. I think the situation right now is pretty good, right? Because I think not many people will go out of their way to get an elitism tool, but I think the players who want to improve and really optimize will go out of their way to use a tool to measure DPS, right? And so, as long as ArenaNet don't ban any, I don't think they'll ban. I don't think they'll ban for this because they know that the players using these meters are mostly, like almost all of them, are using it for their own personal gain. You know, it's self-improvement, personal gain. That's a little bit of a bit of a bad phrase to use. They're using it for self-improvement purposes within a closed, you know, a guild usually, to get better, rather than rather than just trolling people, you know,
or kicking pugs because they're running rampagers.
Sure, and interestingly enough, like I've been informed of players who run good gear and play very poorly. And like, I play with people on Monday night who admit to like not really even using min-max stuff because they don't care and not using like the best build. And I have a friend who plays with like Parasitic Contagion all the time instead of Lingering Curse on his Necro. And like, he plays really well. He's fine. Like, he's not using meta stuff, but he plays well, so whatever. Doesn't, like, who cares? I'd rather have him than, like, someone with a build they copy-pasted that have no clue. But, like, another thing is this is a community of people that is influential whether or not the influence is good or bad is going to come down to personal opinion, but they are influential and they carry a lot of influence and they have a very big impact. We saw that because, we have big raiding guilds who push the meta and develop the meta, and we had a tournament with them with 2,000 viewers last weekend. So there's influence occurring. I think that was more than like the World Tournament Series or the Tournament of Legends or whatever the case was. And this was just driven by us. It was our little thing. So there's influence. Whether or not it's influence that ArenaNet likes or thinks is good, they have to take into consideration what banning those people is going to cause. Because if they ban them all, it's going to cause something. We could probably make predictions as to what it is, but it's going to have an effect. If they let them stay, which that may technically be the correct decision, but that doesn't mean that they're going to like it, and that doesn't mean that they want that to be the case. And
they have to constantly weigh this kind of thing because the negative effect of banning these people right now probably isn't outweighed by the negative effect of them using these tools or affecting other people. But maybe at some point it will be.
I just don't like that position. It's the same. It's sort of the same position they take on why they don't want to, or what seems to be why they don't want to add or put resources into a DPS meter for the community in general. And that's, you're afraid of what's going to be the outcome. If I ban these players for breaking the terms of service, I'm scared what's going to happen to the game.
It's pretty.
I give you a DPS meter, I'm scared on how people are going to use it and be bad to each other.
I mean, in fairness, that's a very predictable outcome. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that if everyone had a DPS meter, a group DPS meter where you could single people out, I don't think it's unrealistic to say that there's gonna be elitism happening as a result of that.
No, they're absolutely.
There's already elitism happening.
Yeah, but
even
worse, more.
Inks, though, how do you think it's a bad thing that they're considering the risks and ramifications of every action they do?
No. What I'm saying is I think it's a bad thing when they put too much weight into fear of their players.
Oh, it's not fear of their players. It's,
It is, though. How is it not? So they don't want to ban the raiders who are breaking the terms of service by using third-party tools that break the terms of service. I know some of them don't, but some of them do. And they don't want to ban them because why?
Probably because
they're afraid on how it's going to affect the raid community and the growth of it.
Yeah.
No, because it's going to cause a huge PR shit on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly.
That too.
It will. That will.
So they're scared of offending those players.
And see, this is the problem whenever you create the friendliest community in MMOs, and it's a play how you want game, and then you don't design it around an audience that is going to come and play games hardcore. Like I really don't ever think ArenaNet anticipated the player base that it has, and I think that they didn't think it would ever. I don't think they ever thought dungeon speedrunning was going to be a thing. I don't think that they ever thought metas or min-maxing would ever be a thing in this game. I don't think. I mean, considering what they developed, considering all of the just ridiculous dungeon exploits that still even to this day exist, LOL. Like, I don't think they ever thought that would happen. And considering how the raids are designed, you have people 3-manning Veil Guardian. And then you have groups of 10 people who have fought it for months, and maybe last week they just got their first kill. Like, that's a huge disparity. That is immense. That is worlds and worlds apart. And you just the fact that and again, this was something they tried to do to be different, and I respect them for that. I respect doing things to be different and carving your own path, but you cannot just like try to ignore that this type of play, these type of players don't exist, and then when they come into the game, you try to take stuff away from them. And then, like, you can't expect this stuff won't happen, and it did. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've come to the wrong conclusion about it. That's entirely possible. I'm willing to say that I don't know for sure. I think that's just honest. But, like, I don't know. This is a problem that they have created as much as these players have created.
I see what you're saying, and I think it's a pretty balanced look at it. But I think that you can't say that they didn't expect these types of players to be in the game. I think they created, in their terms of service, they created means to control, if needed, these players. So I think that, I mean, they have the ability to ban players who use the tools, and they'll use it, I'm sure, if it gets out of hand or if it's something that's going away from what they want in their game. They haven't done it yet. Maybe because, well, I'm sure they have a way of finding out who has it.
Yeah, someone said that they can't detect it. Some of them maybe not, but I know some of them they can detect. You know, I have no idea how much or how much they can or cannot, but there's definitely some of them they can detect.
And
I know that for a fact.
This is a different realm of undetectable hacks in World versus World that completely rely on player reports. Because when you have people deleting their character models and going under the ground and force changing stances to water combat, and then just tracking people down with targeted grenades on engineer from literally under the terrain, and whenever their character goes down, it teleports it to somewhere else on the map the moment it enters downstate. That is so far different than a DPS meter.
You're right. And those guys should get banned and do get banned every once in a while. But the question is, I don't think there is really a question right now of whether or not the people who use these DPS bidders should get banned. I don't think they really should at this point. But if things do get out of control, maybe.
What would you say that point would be?
Yeah, what's the break point?
Where does it get out of hand?
Exactly what it is. The break point is that someone with a very, like, I don't know, any of us, if Wooden Potatoes or any other big Guild Wars 2 YouTuber goes and makes a video and says, here's this DPS meter. This is all the stuff that it can do. Look at this. Look at this guy in this raid group, and look at his gear, and look at how bad it is. This is the tool.
Don't make that video.
This is how you install it. If any of us are to make that video, that's the point in which people have to start getting banned. And the interesting thing is, there are literally tutorials on how to set up and use and detailing the development and what the tools do on YouTube. You can go and search for these if you know the names of these programs, and you can find videos that tell you where to get it, have download links, tell you how to set it up, whatever. That's all of that exists, and the people that use these and the people in this sort of like community who want DPS meters all know where to get this. It's all out there. You just have to know where to look. And whenever the knowing where to look becomes, this is where to look, now everyone knows where to look. That's the threshold that's the threshold for it.
I think for me, the threshold also is, I think it's already happening in some cases, is the ability to look at the gear of another player in these equipment, in these tools, because that, I'm pretty sure, shouldn't happen in this game. Whether or not it's for raiding, whether or not it's for anything, just the fact that you have a tool that allows you to check somebody else's gear right now, it's not intended in the game whatsoever. And I think that's something that ArenaNet really doesn't like. Like I don't think they mind that much personal DPS meters, and for groups that use personal DPS meters just to improve as a group, but to use it as like a spy tool basically, and also a way to kick people from groups in pugs. It's not something that they.
But even that's just a tool. Even that is just a tool, though, because suppose, just as a completely random example, I have in my group a Chronomancer running Chaos and no boon duration, just as a completely random example. Instead of waiting at all of Wing 1 to actually find this out and figure out why does no one have any quickness and alacrity? Why does no one have any quickness and alacrity? I can simply check to make sure everything is going fine and say, hey dude, you might want to grab some boon duration on your Chronomancer, and don't shatter all your illusions, and don't run chaos, because we're actually going to need all of those things to maximize our group's effectiveness. I'm not going to kick him from the group, although I believe that that particular individual did get kicked from the guild. They are back, I believe, because it was a bit of a clown fiesta. But it can be a force for good as well.
Yeah, I'll give a pretty good example as well. Very early when raiding first released, we had made it to Gorseval and started having some problems with aggro. Couldn't figure out what was going on, and we asked the group openly. This is an organized, closed group where we're all friends. We're not going to kick each other and all that kind of other nonsense. And it turns out that the druid was using a bow with toughness on it. He was pulling aggro from the actual tank. Had no idea, and this was like, I don't know, 20, 30 hours into the raid at this point. If we would have known that from the start, could have eliminated a lot of problems real quick.
Another great example here, someone has definitely been watching the stream. We had a phalanx strength warrior with no greatsword trait and discipline. And why do we have no might?
Isn't this the same person?
Oh, I think, yes, it was, wasn't it? Was it?
Was it?
Was it the same person? I think it might have. Oh, shit, I think it was. Oh, no, I think it actually was. And we go, why do we have no might? Is he just doing a bad rotation? He's got the dumplings. He's got a great sword. He's attacking with it. The boss is taking damage. But we just had to figure out the traits. And if we had some kind of way to figure out what the problem was, we can say, hey, dude, you're probably going to want to take strength.
Frankly, that
greatsword trait.
I mean, that's not hard to figure out without a gear check tool. If you don't have any might in your group, the PS warrior is probably to blame.
Well, yeah, but we didn't know why. Is he just not using 100 blades? Is he not using his abilities?
So you asked him.
Yeah, so we asked him.
And
but, I mean, then
the answer.
Here's the difference. The difference is that you know that there's a problem, and you can hypothesize as to why. But then you have two warriors and you have two chronomancers, and it takes time to figure it out. And you ask questions, and people answer honestly, or maybe they answer dishonestly, but they don't know that they are. Whereas with a tool like that, you can immediately see what the problem is. Like, you just gear check them and it's over. And maybe it was an honest mistake. And like,
I would have asked from day one, Druid, why are you running toughness on your weapon? Why are you doing that? It's an interesting choice. And he would have said some ridiculous reason, and I would have said, well, that's probably not the best weapon to use.
If you're in a group, an organized group or something like that, in pugs I can maybe you can see it as there is an argument to be made that there could be some unpleasantness. But if you're in an organized group, everyone doesn't hate each other. You can just hey dude, you might want to fix that. You might want to change that up.
Well, and I think a lot of the argument comes from the perspective of pugging a pickup group, and some of the toxicity, nastiness that already exists without the widespread use of these types of tools. A lot of players fear or feel, because of past experiences with other MMOs that have these tools, on what kind of environment that strengthens.
No. And there's not a lot of people using this tool anyway, so it's not really a big problem right now. Not that many people use it.
It's condensed down to certain communities.
I really don't, and I actually don't, and for this particular reason, I don't think they even need to add a DPS meter. They don't need to add a DPS meter on the condition that they don't ban people for using the meter that we're all referring to.
Yes.
Then there is really no need. As long as they don't even have to say it's okay. As long as they just don't ban for it, then there is no reason. In fact, there is absolutely no reason to add a DPS meter to the game as long as they don't ban for this one. Because if they do, I think there definitely could be some negative effects. Because I think the Guild Wars 2 community, some of them are not the sharpest icicles. Okay, guys, they're not the sharpest icicles. And they will actually just, kick people for stupid reasons. I mean, you see that already, right? And a DPS meter will probably make that worse. So, I don't know.
Crow said it's not just about when there's a new wing. It's good for those players who want to optimize their play. a combat meter in general will allow you to do that much easier than in a live environment, much easier than the other current ways of like guessing or not knowing exactly.
Yeah.
Some people seem to not really understand that players want to optimize their play. I don't know why that is missed, but
that sounds like elitism, Inks, actually.
Honestly,
I'm sorry.
I want to talk about something that's kind of related, and that's that people really don't understand how big of a difference that gear makes. And like this is something I've always understood from the point of gear makes a big difference. But I didn't realize like how huge of a world of difference it was until I started like hearing this stuff and hearing about people and then actually being shown examples of like this happening. And then like going in and testing, like I was playing around because I've been working on a really big video project for a while, and I don't know when it's going to come out. I don't know when I'm going to have time to finish it. But like I took a thief and put all exotic soldiers gear and then like I think infiltration runes or something on it, and I went through and did like DPS rotations on the golem and the special forces area. And then I took my like min-max plus power infusion like raid gear thief. Same thing, put it in. And it's like DPS is like literally more than 3 times as much. It's nuts. And like people don't realize that like if they just change their gear, like if they just went from like soldier's gear to like berserker's gear and found other ways to survive, like, oh, I can't survive on my thief, I die too easily, just take invigorating precision instead of like no quarter, but keep the berserker's armor and everything and easy, like you'll do more damage and you'll survive. And then whenever you get used to surviving with the same gear stats on, you don't have the toughness and vitality, just switch to no quarter. Easy, simple fix.
I think like in a perfect world where there's no DPS meters and nobody's allowed to use DPS meters, and that's not a perfect world, but in that world where ArenaNet gets to have their terms of service never broken, basically in all pug groups, they would have gone to a DPS golem beforehand and known the minimum DPS that their class should do in situations.
It doesn't even close to translate though.
No,
Yeah.
If you were going on, I don't know, some random boss and all your Ellies were doing 45k DPS, all the warriors are doing 25. Yeah, it translates gear wise, but the numbers are
so
just.
You don't need the gear checker in that case.
Oh yeah, the gear checker doesn't really. I don't know. The gear checker is to, like, you could check the new players. Let's put it like that. Okay, you could say, hey, dude, you might want to, because people lie, right? People lie.
They do.
And people have lied to my face, and then people have watched the stream, and then they have been demonstrated to be lying, and they go, well, I was running this trait the whole time, but I wasn't running phalanx strength. Okay, that's fine. That's a problem. Okay, that's a really big problem, and it's a big. I think it's my own fault for probably streaming. That probably makes it worse because I don't want to have it kind of get called out in front of all the voracious, vicious plebs watching, because they see what happens when you become a meme, I suppose. But I don't know. People do lie, probably even in pugs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in runs with Brazil.
I mean, he lies all the time.
With members of Salt when we're not streaming, and they still won't tell the truth. They still won't own up to whatever is going on. We had problems on Slaughtersaur one time where I think Brazil asked like 15 times, "Are you sure you know the fight?" When clearly there was a number of them that had no idea what was happening in the boss encounter, and they wouldn't even speak. They wouldn't type. They wouldn't own up to anything, and it just makes it a frustrating experience. That has nothing to do with gear check, DPS check, whatever, but just referencing what Teapot is saying about people just don't want to admit that they made a mistake or they did something wrong or whatever. They just won't own up to it most of the time. So Yeah.
And and Snow made a point about how something like a DPS meter or a boon log or something would be really helpful for the new groups, and I absolutely agree. There was a great post on Reddit that kind of divided the player base up into a bunch of categories that kind of who the DPS meter would benefit and. Players who are trying to learn, who are just trying to get into raids and get their boss, they're in a relatively static group, they're in an organized team, and they're really trying to figure out how they can get their first, let's say, Veil Guardian kill. It's where a lot of people will start.
You guys go on. I gotta be right back real fast.
That is really, really helpful for them, because they can say, oh, we've only got 60% quickness uptime. Perhaps if we got a bit better at stacking and standing in those mesmer wells, we've worked on our positioning and our chronomancer nailed their rotations down a little bit better. Maybe we can get that extra damage we need to get this boss down. Let's see, how much healing are the druids putting out? Are they using it? Are they using their healing at the correct time to counter the damage of the encounter? No. So maybe our druids need to work on their celestial avatar timing, knowing when to use the healing when it's required in the fight. All these kind of statistics are really, really helpful. Do we have Fury? Do we have Might the entire time? And you can kind of see that already, but especially with the unticking viewers grid, because you can see the buffs in your party, which is kind of good, I guess. But I'd actually like an option for the whole squad as well, just for raids. I know it's kind of weird the way the squad system works, but even so, those kind of statistics are really, really helpful.
Yeah. The problem is that the DPS meter is used for that, but it's also used and probably mostly used for singling out the people who don't know enough about the raids, and then instead of helping them, kicking them out.
You think most of the time, do you think it's really that bad?
I don't know, actually. I haven't pugged a lot, but
I've pugged for the last 3 weeks, and it can be brutal.
Yeah, I think it's probably not that bad right now, which is why people who use these meters aren't getting ban waived.
They're starting to use them more and more since this past week's.
That's what I'm saying. So the worse popularity. The worse it gets, the more likely that.
Yeah. In fairness, a lot of attention got drawn to a specific meter, so there will be an influx of people using it now.
To me, though, if I'm in a pug, I expect a particular type of player and behavior, generally speaking. If I want a nicer, safer, more friendly environment, then I will join an organized group to do that. And if I was learning raids, if I just started today, just picked Guild Wars 2 up today and was like, I'm going to start raiding, I would look for a guild that does training. I wouldn't just say, I'll just go to LFG and say, fuck it, let's roll the dice and see who we get. That is not the way I would learn raids. I would go out of my way to find a training guild that is going to teach me how to, and is going to be patient to help learn the raid with you. You're going to have a better experience doing that than joining a random group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even without the tool, even without DPS meters,
I completely agree.
Gear checks and all that other kind of stuff.
I think hugging raids is... I don't know why people would really do that. I don't think it's the correct way to go. Why you would pug raids? You're gonna have more fun. It's gonna be better with an organized group.
The problem is it's hard to find sometimes these organized groups, but I know that there's a few tools out there right now that are active. I think the Discord servers, and I think there's a Reddit community for that also, and maybe a guild or two.
Yeah, so, someone says a raider in. Is that the Discord? I know somebody set up like a Discord for raiders.
Yeah, I think it's Raiders in or something like that. They'll help you out.
But I've run with this same, I guess it's a semi-pug group because they pug like 5 people. So it's 5 people in a guild, and then it's like 5 people that they pick up. So it's half a pickup group. But the 5 people that are in the group from the same guild they're brutal, and they don't mess around, and it's not a friendly experience for most people who join that group.
Now, speaking of raiding, but moving off the topic of DPS meters, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. What do you think the next raid is going to be? Where it is?
Oh.
Isle of Janther to trigger the lore people.
I think it is going to be Isle of Janther.
Really?
Yeah, I have a few reasons for that.
Do you really think that ArenaNet want to... Can you imagine the Reddit upvotes, Boots? Can you imagine the Reddit upvotes? Isle of Janther gated behind raids.
I know.
Rip.
I know. So I'm worried about that, if it's going to happen that way. In fact, when that line came in the storyline, the last release, I was like, okay, so it's going to come up soon. They can't do it in raids, right? That would be crazy. They're going to do it in storyline, but it's weird because there's currently a storyline happening. But the more I think about it, the more it might happen. Because number one, it continues basically the last raid storyline, right? Following
Yeah.
Codicus.
Yeah.
Codicus isn't really involved in the actual in-game storyline right now.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe not in this episode.
Yes, but no. Yeah, he's doing something. You're just not sure what exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, so second of all, when we raided the first time around, it was like a group of explorers, right, going out raiding. It wasn't the
commander.
It wasn't us.
Exactly. And Kanak is going up to find Minister Codicus and Alzajanthir. So it's going to be Kanak and his party doing that stuff.
Oh, and it's a raid.
We know that what's her name? Ellen McKeel? No.
Ellen Keel?
No, what's the Azur's name?
Glenna?
Glenna. I don't know. I couldn't remember her name at her hotel. So we know that Glenna is getting new voice lines currently.
Oh.
I think Bob Stein tweeted out that he was out at the voice recording studio.
Okay, and sorry, was that Bobby Stein you said was out with Glenna? Okay, well that's interesting because every time someone on Twitter mentions something about the Allojanthir, Bobby Stein responds.
What?
And Bobby Stein is responsible right now for raid storylines.
Yeah.
Also, he's like a big director in ArenaNet, so it's possible that he's doing a lot of other stuff at the same time. But he seems awfully interested about Allojanthir whenever anybody mentions it, and also pretty interested in raiding storyline because he's the one who's making it. So...
All right, shut up, Boots. What did I...
We're talking about where the location of the next raid is going to be.
Oh, easy. Isle of Janthir.
There we go.
Guys, let's get De-Illuminati in the chat, guys. This is some...
Okay. So I don't disagree with that, but I don't think whatever story is told in that raid, I think it's more of like extra lore bits rather than attached to the main story.
I hope it's the Wizard Tower. Honestly, I do.
That would be awesome, yeah. And if the Wizard Tower is somehow connected with the Allojanthir or the Allojanthir, that'd be cool too. But no, I think it is because also like they could always defend ArenaNet by putting this awesome piece of lore in a raid rather than the main story, could always defend themselves by saying, well, Allojanthir wasn't ever in Guild Wars 1 either, so it's not a huge deal.
They can make up anything they want. They don't have to, they don't necessarily have to tie it to, existing whatever.
So Allojanthir is in as raid because it wasn't really in Guild Wars 1, and the Wizard Tower as well.
People are still going to want to find out about it, though.
Yeah, and there will be, just like the first raid, just like the first 3 raid wings, how there was, lore and story and stuff in there that maybe not, directly involves what's going on in the Living World story. It had a lot of information and insight as to, parts, tie into it. So if the raid is in the Isle of Janthir, like a lot of people expect, then I would expect the lore there to be, not directly affecting the storyline, but tied into it.
Sure. Yeah.
Sort of like the history of the Isle or, whatever's involved there.
Maybe even less related than that even, right? Because I think there was a little bit of rustling. There was a little bit of rustling about how...
Right.
There were some juicy bits of lore in the raid, the current one. And
there will be in
with
this one too,
Lazarus as well.
I don't expect that more Mursat will be alive, but it's been rumored and hinted at for a long time that the Isle of Janthir is an important place, at least to the Mursat. I don't know if you want to say that's like their homeland or whatever, but certainly an important place to them. So a lot of their technology and lore and maybe their origin story might be involved in, that area of the world. And that would be That would be pretty cool to see.
Maybe there's going to be a seer there trying to, like, maybe one of the last seers or the last seer finding some magical artifact there for some reason. But no, I think the main probably thing is going to be them
New pasta,
hunting
boys.
down
New
and
pasta.
catching Codicus.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
and then doing something. Doing something to Cordicus. Bringing him to justice. Bringing him back to whatever we're going to do with him.
Merciless Lemurs doesn't he doesn't like us talking about the lore very much.
That's all right.
Where was this? Wow, we just got wrecked.
This rate, I'm hoping that 3D scan of inks import as a dwarf character. Yes.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where we're gonna go probably. I mean,
it's confirmed.
just based off of
Insider information, insider trading. You heard it here first. We're in. Boots knows.
That would be fantastic, but it worries me just a tiny bit because I expect we're only going to have probably one more Living World episode before we get the next raid, or at about the same time. And the Isle of Janthier is quite a bit north, and we don't really have connecting maps necessarily.
Is it that north?
So
I mean,
are we
it's kind
just
of
gonna-
west of the new map, isn't it?
Are we going to assert a portal over there? Because I don't love that idea.
Well, I mean, that's what we did for Ember Bay, so I don't see why
I know,
not.
and it was kind of... Well,
I mean,
It's kinda what
you
we-
have to wonder
it's what
how
we
did
did
they?
for-
You have to wonder. I mean, it's a
It's
good
also
thing
what we
we
did
were
for
able to get that
Bloodstone.
portal up.
I mean, ideally-
You want to
we
know
could
how
have-
we're gonna get over there? Actually, I've already figured it out.
How are we gonna get there?
Lazarus is gonna portal us.
That's a
yeah,
big,
I mean,
that's
it works just as well as a,
yeah, something like
Sura
that.
portal.
Either that or Arene is gonna use mind magic, and we're gonna go in alone, and then we'll just have that's
Oh,
it.
God.
Arene uses dragon magic to teleport us because we have a connection with her mind.
Oh,
And we're
then that
gonna
would
go
be
in
the
there,
raid. That would be
And
raid,
the
that's
only way, no, the raid's just gonna have a boat. We'll take a boat there.
stupid.
But the only way to do that is because we have Arene and it's just us, and we're going in alone, and Tybee is gonna have the communicator, and she's gonna say, "This is a solo mission. You're going in alone." And it's just perfect. The dialogue just writes itself.
How north of Lake Doric is Isle of Janthier?
Well, so that's what I'm saying. You need at least 1 to 2 Living World stories to connect those maps. But I think Raids is coming before 2 more story patches. So it's a little bit problematic. I could be wrong, but it's just how I feel about it.
Maybe. But it's also possible that, how Casimir hasn't been with us for a while, and she is sort of working for
She's
royalty
White
and the Queen.
Mantle.
So is
She's
and
like
so is
Mantle.
Kanak.
How
White
great would that
Mantle?
be?
But maybe
She's
she's
Mesmer?
with Kanak going to
She's a
chase
Fuzo
after
Mesmer.
Codicus, and she just uses the Mesmer portal to get us there.
Also, Triple Jacks, we know there will be 4 bosses in the next raid.
Yeah.
Oh,
And no events.
Oh, no. Each of the bosses is one of the point of the triangle, and then the last one is the eye.
Oh my god. And you have
And
to
it's really
fight
just
the...
Abaddon.
It's the Illuminati. You have to fight the Illuminati. Oh my
They
god.
just really
yes.
reused Abaddon from Guild Wars 1. You just have to fight him again.
That would, you get the Abaddon fractal after all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they fit that in there. That would be a kind of a funny little meme. I mean, with the new fractal anyway, the raids are just going to be easy mode, right? It's going to seem easy with the new fractal,
Have we
Nightmare
talked
Fractal
about that
Challenge
yet?
mode.
Have we talked about the fractal?
Not yet, no.
No.
Okay.
you want to talk about it now?
I just want the Wizard's Tower to be the next raid, and I want it to have some kind of connection, master
The-
magic.
Do you not think the Wizard's Tower could be just a single boss instance with the wizard?
Could be.
The Wizard's Tower
No,
is not.
it could fit perfectly because it could just be like 4 rooms. It could be like a Zelda thing. Where
Yeah,
it's
Brazil,
just
I
like
agree.
It's just like an endless dungeon. There's no
It would be-
corridors or anything. You just drop through the floor and fight bosses.
It would be perfect place for a new raid,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be the next raid because another thing I saw on, I think it was Twitter, was Peter Fry saying that it's the Wizard Tower is currently in limbo because a lot of people have suggested ideas for it, but nothing's been accepted yet as a storyline.
You know, it would be smart of ArenaNet would be to hold the castle raid until the next expansion hits.
Oh,
That'd be a selling point, though.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
true.
See, oh. Okay, so it was Verada that went up there, right? It's Verada.
Oh, he's the raid boss.
And so no, we learn we go fight him and we beat him, and he's just this like neutral party, but he's jealous of Palawa Joko, and so we learn how to take his necromancer magic and go make Palawa Joko actual dead, and they've both become liches, and there's a lich super fight.
That would be pretty cool.
And we have to help our lich defeat their lich.
Yeah.
Isn't that just
Maybe
what we're
the
doing in the
Eye
living
of
story right now?
Xanthier-
We're training our dragon to kill the other dragons.
Maybe the
Yeah,
Eye
why
of
not just
Xanthier
reuse the same
is.
plot again?
Maybe it's a phylactery, the Eye of Xanthier. The phylactery is some lich. Maybe it's Palawa Joko's phylactery.
Mm.
I don't know.
When's the
You could be
Scepter of
right.
War gonna come back?
Oh, they kind of. Well, I mean, what happened to Livia? That's the real question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You should ask
Maybe she was in
Kevin.
the
I bet Kevin would
Alexandria.
know. Is Kevin here? Kevin in chat. You know what happened. You have a theory about Livia, I think. I don't know.
Well, the theory is
Kevin
that
knows
she's a
about
niece.
law.
That's
Oh,
the theory.
shit.
Or that she's Countess Anise. I
Yeah.
believe it. And Countess Anise is also Queen Jenna.
Who's Livia?
Character from
Livia was-
Guild Wars 1 who got the Scepter
Yeah.
of War.
I believe it, actually.
You think that? Why do you
I don't
believe
care
it?
about anyone other than Verada and Palawa Joko. Those are the only two characters that matter in the whole franchise.
But wasn't Barada just a...
Oh, and Kasha Blackblood. She's good too.
Wasn't Barada just like a normal necromancer in the pre-searing and then sort of a more powerful necromancer
Got
afterwards?
supercharged.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's not that interesting.
No, he is. His
Hmm.
mobs were good.
Okay, all right.
Were they
Had
undead?
his own, yeah, he had his own cult of like necromancers.
Well,
Yeah.
because so
and then he
thing
flew
with
his tower into the air.
the thing with the castle is it's all elementals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the elementals are people.
Right. Well, they were.
Oh. They
Well,
got
they
turned
still
into
kind
them.
of-
They
That's
got-
what it
yeah.
hints at, anyway.
Yeah, they got turned into elementals, which is pretty fucked up if you think about it.
So all the bloodstone elementals are actually people.
Well, no, maybe not all elementals, but those particular ones.
Those particular ones, yeah, they...
Bloodstone elementals are fusions of dead souls.
in
and
before
magic.
its arc, and he's just he's a mad Asura, just changing people into elementals for fun.
His name is something else, though. His name is... It's the Wizard Tower actually has a name. Isengard, or
Garen Hoff.
Garen. Oh, no.
That's
Well,
where
Garen
it's
Hoff
at.
is the name of the town.
Yeah, that's the name of the town, but it's... Is Garen?
Garanhoff is the name of the town.
Yeah, Wizard Tower Guild Wars 2. Let's Google it.
Here we
Oh,
go.
that,
Let's gotta sort this
It
out.
is Garen. That's his name.
Is Garen. Everyone knows.
Since been relocated by its new owner, Isgaren.
Oh.
So they know the
They picked
name.
you for,
I didn't actually know that. I didn't actually know that we knew the name of the wizard or whatever
Yeah.
in the tower.
So the
Interesting.
problem with that is it really complicates, or that's why probably they haven't figured out a storyline for it yet, is because they probably wanted to make that wizard the mysterious Mr. E at some point, but then they realized, oh shit, we actually gave him a name. So maybe it's Isgaren Engelberg.
Wait, why would they have? Why would they have thought to had made him E? What? What?
I don't think they really had a story linked to the wizard's tower
Not yet.
necessarily.
Not yet.
Not
Hasn't
yet.
been a raid.
Right. Not yet.
But I think what they could do is probably tie it into the current storyline somehow, because what's her name? Timey's trying to use that chalk liver or something as a way to dilute or channel magic
Spencer.
to get the specific types of magic to combat ice versus fire.
Right.
But if Isgaren's able to like create elementals, fire and ice elementals whenever he wants, he probably has some sort of magic that could do that. Some sort of magic that could take specific types of magic to combat the fire and the ice dragon. No? Okay, whatever.
I don't know about that. I mean, just turning someone into an ice elemental, does that really mean you have the power to
You can do whatever the fuck you want,
I mean, that is pretty crazy though. I mean, if imagine if that was a spell for Elementalist, your elite spell is instead of Polymorph Mower, you just turn someone into
Elementalist.
You turn someone into an elemental permanently. That is a good elite. You actually permanently change their character into an elemental. They have to play the rest of the game as an elemental.
Spec.
Elemental elementalist. Elemental Mancer. Yeah. And all your abilities you turn into an elemental. That would actually be really cool. Or like a djinn. You just turn into a different type of djinn. That'd actually be pretty cool.
I'm the boss of this djinn.
I'll give you one more round. Yeah, okay.
Arc is the Asura's name from the Fractals. Yeah, that's what I said, but the wizard actually has a name. I didn't realize that.
That's an interesting choice of name.
Is it?
I wonder if there's a conspiracy that lies deeper with that.
Is that...
I think Arc is an elitist.
Is that Asura, the Asura that
That's a good point, G Brazil.
Uncategorized fractal?
They know.
Yeah, it is. It's the same one.
Okay, so he goes crazy and blah blah blah.
I hear Arc does some good DPS. Arc's DPS is pretty nice, no? Although when he's in the fractal, all he's doing is defending us with his shield dome.
He's increasing our DPS uptime.
Yeah. We wouldn't get very far without him, would we? Because we just insta-die to the giant AoE.
On the bright side, it's a good fractal.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, yeah, let's talk about that fractal. So you really enjoy it, eh?
Yeah, I've done challenge mode almost every single day since I think I've missed one day, maybe two. Because I had a late shift at work and I didn't make it home in time. But so the first time we ever did it, it took us like 6 hours to beat, and it probably should have been faster, but Brobo was on Druid wasting our time. So let me get the pasta. There we go. But yeah, so it's a good fractal. The bosses, they're kind of spongy, but they're not spongy in the same way that like Lornar Dragonseeker, where he just stands there and he doesn't do anything and it takes forever to kill him. Like these bosses, like it takes a while. It takes a while to beat them, but there's stuff happening all the meanwhile, and if you wipe at like 30% health or something, which is totally possible because the mechanics pick up, and they add mechanics, that's another thing. Like, it's very annoying, and you realize, oh my god, what have we just done? So, like, another thing that's really, really great about the fight is that it adds mechanics naturally and seamlessly, and as the fight gets harder, you would expect more things to happen, and they do. And so he picks up new mechanics, and he splits into phases. The phases are great. I love that, because it's very chaotic, but you get rewarded greatly for being able to pull it off. Everybody gets rezzed, up to full HP stuff. The people who, just survive it normally, nothing happens to them, but, like, that's really good. And then the last 15% of the fight, like the screen goes all crazy and the boss just casts, and you have to, like, you feel really pressured to kill it because it's just chaos. And it's really awesome. It's really fun. It's visually appealing. Like, you feel more pressured as the fight goes on because the arena gets smaller and smaller. And, like, Mama and Ciax both do the same thing to a degree. Like, as the fights progress on, like, you feel more pressured and they get more dangerous. And, like, with Ciax, like, you better have DPS or you're never going to beat that boss. And the DPS is divided up into individual responsibility. And that's great. That's awesome. It's well balanced between lots and lots of things. And it's just wonderful. And they have new mechanics, they have new assets that they've created, bouncy balls that like flop around the arena. It just looks awesome. It's great. It's great. It's stuff that I never thought that would be possible in Guild Wars 2 with the engine, but they've surprised me again. It's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, that 2 weeks ago when we were talking before the patch, I think I was saying that. Well, I think we were talking about raids though, and I was saying probably in the next boss they should probably introduce the thing where you could jump over the wave mechanics.
And they put it in the game.
And then, but also, I was like saying, so probably for the next raid wing, it's going to be a boss that introduces mechanics, then another thing that introduces more mechanics, and then finally the last thing is all the mechanics together, and it tries to get you off your game by being really everything all at once crazy. And then somebody in chat said, "Wow, you don't know how close you're getting to the fourth boss in the or the to the thing." So, and I think he was talking, but now at first I thought he was talking about the next raid, but
Oh
I guess he was
yeah.
talking about the fractal. And
Hmm.
makes so that guy, who was that guy? Do you guys know who it was?
I can't remember, but there was a guy who claimed to have inside information, and it was actually all right as well, incidentally, which is a bit disturbing.
Yeah, I think that guy though
He knows he's on to
was
us.
in the same was in our chat as well when you were playing, and one of the two ArenaNet devs that worked on that fractal was whispering you, saying, you suck. Remember, it was either Cameron or Ben, one of those two ArenaNet devs. Oh, it was you. Okay, never mind. There we go. MK, he dead.
It wasn't him.
Oh, it wasn't him. All right,
No,
never mind then.
he's trying to troll you there.
Okay. Anyway, I'm thinking that yeah, it's kind of interesting. It was cool.
Well, this is actually one of the complaints I actually have about the last boss of the Nightmare Fractal. The last phase is just so much easier than the other two phases because the attack he gains in the last phase is just insanely just terrible. I don't know how people I don't. You know the one where he kind of shoots out the little arrows in all directions and a wave comes
Yeah.
in. It's just trash. It doesn't do anything. I mean,
The wave when it comes in knocks you down.
yeah, but it doesn't hurt you. I
No,
mean,
but you have to. The idea is that it's taking up a lot of the area that you have to stand, and there's not a lot of area to stand left over. But I kind of agree with you because I think I've actually died to it once on accident.
if you
Because
stand
there's
in the
a
middle, you insta die. If you stand next to him,
Yeah.
you insta die, right? But as long
Yeah.
as you're a good chunk of distance away and you jump over the wave, it doesn't do anything. If you get hit by any of the little arrows as well, that's like instant death as well, I think.
Yep.
But it's a pretty easy attack, and I think in the last phase, I think he does actually have a few too many abilities. It just ends up like he just chains stuff and ends up not really doing anything
does.
with really long cast times. Like his sucky attack that is just really easy to dodge, doesn't
No,
really do
you, like,
anything.
You shouldn't even dodge that attack.
You just
Honestly,
eat it,
because
you think?
you just eat it, and then you just have your dodge rolls for the golden ring that knocks you down, and then the bombs he creates. Like you don't even have to dodge that.
I think he should stop doing some attacks, right? I think he should like the really easy one is where you have to run into the dome. He should probably stop doing that one in the last phase because it's barely even a mechanic, right? It's like almost like a rest phase. Even you have some time to recover and reassert yourself within the fight. Where it's just he ends up doing very little to you, and bear in mind you don't even have the full 33% for him to wreck you either, because once you get him to 15%, you win basically.
You know
I mean,
the mechanic that they need to add to that fight, and that they should have had. It was a missed opportunity. See, we have the like fixate mechanic that happens, yeah,
yeah.
and like that's cool. And like we have the ability to put AoE rings on the players that indicate an attack that's going to happen. Like we see that with the bombs and the raid and stuff. So what they should have done is they should have put a fixate on top of the player and a countdown ring. But the boss coils up like a snake, and then he springs up into the air, and he tracks a player and he drops on top of them, and it's an instant death if they don't dodge it correctly. And he can also drop and hit other players, and they have to get away from everyone else. That would be sick. See, missed opportunity.
Do you not think that's kind of
this,
annoyingly? Do you not think that's crossing the barrier between
No, it's good.
difficulty and just annoying, right?
No, it's good. It's cool. He springs up in the air. Who doesn't want to see a snake coil and then jump in the air? Who doesn't want to see that? Come on, it's good.
Everybody wants to see that.
He even has wings. He could probably stay up there for a while. Just drop down. Good.
That's true. He could
good
flap his
mechanic.
wings.
You're
I
fine.
don't know. I think it's the fights in the Nightmare Fractal are actually bordering on annoying, right? I think that's kind of the sweet spot, though, isn't it? Right? That if it was any more obnoxious, it would be a pain in the ass to actually
Bloom
do.
Hunger, I will criticize them fully for this. Bloomhunger is not a difficult fight. Bloomhunger is annoying and it sucks. The remake, in my opinion, is actually worse than the original Bloomhunger.
Oh.
It's not
And
worse, but it's
yes,
not good.
it is. It is because it's just annoying and it's just a time sink.
So is the original Bloomhunger.
It is
No,
a little
the-
bit of a time
the-
sink, but I don't
The
really
original
think it's
one, you
annoying.
could just go in and do it, and it was fine,
Yeah.
and at least you got it over with. The Nightmare
Boring.
Fractal, it's like it's great. It's the opposite.
Hmm.
It takes a long time, but like you don't even care because it's so good, and it actually has real difficulty.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't mind the new Bloomhunger. The old one was pointless and boring.
Wasn't even a
I
boss.
do think it's still too much of a time sink for that boss, I guess, but
They reduced it a bit, but it's still there.
Yeah, I don't know. But the old Bloomhunger was just nothing. I mean, I don't know.
No. Wow. It's an excellent fractal. All the bosses are fun. Fun to do. The only bad part of that fractal is the goddamn circle capping. It's just so annoying to me. I don't like it. It's a pain in the ass. The middle trash bit where you have to stand in the things to cap them and pull the ads, especially. It's just annoying, you know. It's just really irritating. The ads kind of troll you, and they're going to fix the exploit soon as well, so it's going to be even more annoying. I don't know. I don't really like that part. But the bosses, that's some good stuff right there. That's some good stuff.
So where do fractals go from here?
They just
Like,
keep doing that, and they'll be fine.
Right, but you have the level 100 fractal now, Nightmare Fractal. Everybody likes it. You have the hard mode for it, level 100 hard mode. When you want to add new fractals, you're not going to replace the level 100 fractal anymore, are you? You're going to do something else, right?
You might. Like
What would you do?
the next fractal that comes would just replace
Yeah, just be at 100.
current 100.
Oh,
The current
okay.
100 goes to 99.
Okay,
I mean, and
fair enough.
by doing so, you shouldn't reduce the current difficulty. The difficulty should stay the same for the current 100. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, all right,
Making
why
it
not?
99 shouldn't reduce its difficulty, and it should stay just like it is.
Mhm.
But the new fractal should be
As easy,
100.
as hard.
No.
as difficult. Yeah, of course.
If
And
they
if it's
continue...
not, for some reason, if it's not as difficult, then it shouldn't be a 100. It should be
A
wherever
99.
it should fall. Yeah.
If they continue to add challenge modes, I honestly think fractals are going to end up in just a god tier state, especially if they decided to go back and add these challenge modes to other fractals as well, right? I mean, they potentially could do something similar for a whole bunch of them. Like a Molten Boss. Molten Boss would be a really good target for this, right? They could, because that's kind of a joke fractal right now, you know? Even on the higher scales, it's going to, oh, well, that's an easy fractal to do today, but what if they added a challenge mode and they actually revamped it and made it more challenging? That'll be pretty interesting to see. And that would be a good, I mean, again, challenge mode for Jade Ocean Fractal. Again, kind of a bit of a joke. You can actually leave combat while fighting the Jade Maw because there's literally nothing to even attack you. But then they
It's
can...
pretty
you know,
tedious, though, that one.
Yeah, but they could add some kind of challenge mode and revamp it. Maybe instead of fighting a giant head, he kind of separates himself from the wall and actually fights you as a boss, as opposed to just you throw crystals at him.
Maybe we go into his mind and fight a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, that would be that. Wow, what a reference! What a
Did I ever
reference!
tell you
right
guys about how bad the Zaitan fight and the Morgemoth fight are?
there. So you wait? Oh, they already have a challenge mode for the modern
Nightmare mode? Yeah.
Ultramoth.
It turns out you just have 4 people die and then 1 person just fly around the arena the whole time.
I still need to do that, actually.
Oh, you haven't done it.
No.
It's all right.
No.
It's actually pretty interesting.
I think I've only completed the story twice, as it is. Just never went back to it.
Well, you filthy casual.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What can you do?
So the new map is pretty good for getting ascended trinkets.
Yes.
Yeah.
As
It's,
expected. Exactly as expected. They added a ring and an accessory for winter berries.
Yeah, but it feels a lot easier to get them than the other 2 maps.
But
Well,
you can't
for good
reset
reason.
the stats on them.
That's true.
Oh, you can't? Oh, that is kind of annoying.
Not yet, but I would hope that would change.
I don't know though, because with like 10 characters, you could get You could get an ascended ring in 20
Yeah,
minutes.
and I kind of expect that to change as well. I mean, first of all, berries. There's a number of things wrong with them. Number one, there's a lot of nodes in a concentrated area. Every time you mine a berry node, you get a berry, where that's not true on the other two maps, and it has its own icon on the maps. They're easier to find. So
Yeah, it seems, it is stacked. But that makes me wonder why, like, because you can't reset the Ember base stuff, can you?
You can you not do it on different
Never
characters?
tried,
You can
but
do it on
never.
different characters. You can come on different characters and do the hearts.
Right. No,
Something
but what I'm
about-
saying is
Talking
you
about
can't.
resetting the stats on the.
Resetting the
Oh,
stats
on the
Bay,
stat.
I
Oh, can you?
I don't
I
think
haven't.
you can.
I've never tried, so I have no idea.
I want to say
I don't
no.
think
Only Bloodstone Fen, Sai is saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, only Bloodstone Ben, and it is pretty hard. But I think actually Ember Bay resources are harder to get than the Bloodstone Fen resources.
in fairness, Carnifex 2005 is right here. The resetting was 100% a mistake. It was absolutely a mistake. To be able to basically have a legendary trinket, ring, and back piece for just 100 unbound magic, I mean, yeah, that's a mistake. Right? There's no... I'm surprised that even made it to the game, honestly. It's like... Is it
Iron Boost, or is it Land Boost? I'm not sure. But I just said everything that was good about the new map, and I want it replaced. But then look down below, where someone says it took them 1 day to get full ascended trinkets and a back piece. Good job.
Good.
So then once they're done that,
That's some serious
I
value.
did that too. That's
I mean,
what
yeah,
did,
you can get a ludicrous amount of winter berries, especially if you've got lots of characters, right? Because you can just relog and harvest them all over again, and you could get a ridiculous number of them every day just by doing that on different characters, just running around, just harvesting things, sickling things to death. And even makes a good chunk of gold as well. It turns out if you double click them, my god, they finally did it. You can consume them. It's actually a single click, I think. You can actually consume them instead of having to salvage every single one of them with a confirmation window because they're exotic. Oh my god. Don't have to do that anymore. You would have to do with the blood rubies and the petrified wood. And that you can make good money out of that as well. And you get I don't think a lot of people are doing it. I think a good chunk of people are. It's not like mega mainstream yet. But it's going to inject some tier 6 stuff, right?
Once they nerf multi-loot, then...
Yeah. It will be definitely be a very popular farm after that. Oh, yeah, it's coming.
Nike brings up a good question, though. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So Land Boost is that what you're going to say?
No, it was about Nike's thing.
People can stop whining about not having gear for raids. Yeah, sort of true, but the amount that you can acquire in a single day on a single account it's too much. And for those who it's too many. It's too many berries. So yeah, it is sort of a bad thing. And I'm not saying they should gut it and butcher it, because that would be really bad and kill the map. But there are definitely berries are just way better than the other two currencies.
Yeah, they either have to
there's
boost...
more available in that map than the other maps. So
yeah. So about the new, so in the next episode of the Living World, what are they going to do for the new map? Because the first map, you get bloodstone dust and the rubies to get a certain amount of trinkets. In the next map, you get the Imperial fragments and the wood to get some more different types of trinkets. And then in the last map, you get Dragonite ore and the berries to get the last amount of trinkets that you need to have a full set of trinkets. So in the next map, you have in the last 3 maps, you've had all the different ascended materials, and all the trinkets are taken care of. What's going to happen as rewards for the next map, if there is going to be a next map in the Living World?
back piece, because they love doing back pieces, probably because they're easy. I don't know why. But there'll probably be a back piece for sure, and then the rest, I don't know.
Because are they going to do ascended materials in the gathering nodes?
Well, I don't know. people are saying things about weapons and armor and stuff, and that would be interesting if they did it that way, but then that completely undermines crafting, and I don't know. That's tough.
I think I know, guys. It's a new node, and it's a stabilizing matrix. You harvest stabilizing matrices.
Ooh.
No, that shit ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
No.
No.
Bay leaves. Oh, that's a funny thing though.
Bay leaves.
Oh my god! In the crack in the ice, there's leaks everywhere. There's bay leaves from the bushes. It's pretty funny.
Leather gathering farm. Yeah, Mo did say that that they're going to be putting in some kind of.
So maybe they add skinning. There's going to be
farm.
animal corpses everywhere, and you have to skin all the corpses. That would be fucking brutal, actually. I think Brazil would like that, like skinning
by
stuff.
Putting gem slots on ascended trinkets.
Gem slots?
I don't know what that means.
Is that infusion? What? Infusion slots? Do you mean? You mean gem slots?
How does that undermine crafting? I'm not making.
Oh, I know what they mean.
What do they
It's
mean?
because the ascended trinkets have the gems built into them.
The ascended trinkets.
Which they have the stat total like added all
but
together.
it's best in slot.
Yeah, and so the problem is that argument is stupid and it doesn't make any sense.
Jewel crafting was already dead because it doesn't go to 500 though. So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
when is it going to go to 500 in the expansion? Do you think? Are you going to be able to craft ascended trinkets?
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
No. Do you know why?
Well,
Because
legendary
they already added a method so trivial for getting all trinkets that there is literally no reason in even doing that anymore.
Right? Why would you craft it? Just go berry farm.
You'd have to be insane to do it, pretty much.
And for the record, I do think they should buff the other two maps for wood and.
Yeah, you would like that, huh, Inks?
Ooh.
Yeah. For wood and the bloodstone, I think they should get their own map icons as well. But I still think that berries need a nerf.
Yeah, like instead of 100% chance, 50% chance of getting them, and then buff the other ones to 50% as well.
I mean, you can do 100% chance, but just remove some of the nodes. Like 70, you can get 60 to 70 per character in like 20 minutes. Well, 60 plus per character in 20 minutes. That's a lot. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's true. It is a lot, especially if you're the type of person to have a lot of characters, and then it is an insane amount. If you got 10 characters, that's what 700. That's a lot.
Inks at some point in his Guild Wars 2 career could have spent continuous time in the new map with all his characters, never leaving it because the reset would happen while he's finishing up with his last character.
I used to in Ore, the wood farm in Ore. By the time I finished my last character, I could come back on my first character and just continuously farm. I could farm 24/7 if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So when Maudry came into the game, you needed Foxfire. That's all I did. I had my Foxfire like that.
Boom.
Boom. What if you're total sociopath?
People are going to riot if you take their loot away. It's not taking the loot away. It's reducing the amount that you get.
It would cause a riot, though. Because think what's going to happen when they take away multi-loot.
Just leave it in the game. It's fine. It's good.
It won't be a riot. It'll be like a small.
When they remove multi-loot, people are going to riot. There are some people who only do Terraria multi-loot. It's their entire Guild Wars 2 experience. Is just Terraria multi-loot.
Nerfing it.
They'll find something else. They really
As
will.
it should have been a while ago.
It was multi-loot Wars 2, and then they won't have anything to do. It'll just be Wars 2. Be nothing.
They'll find something else to do. Don't worry.
I
don't think
you
that's...
change these things. You got to think what is easier for a bot. Well, you don't think it's easy for a bot to run around and collect berries, because.
Oh my God, it is.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Stuff like that. That's why they put mobs that are dangerous on the nodes.
Yeah.
That's bot prevention, but they didn't ever think about how stealth just, trivializes that.
Put
Oh,
Shadow
Only that,
Refuge
but
down, job done.
you can still run away from quite a few of them
yeah, you can.
without too much trouble.
I love farming it on Thief because I can just fly in and gather everything in like 2 seconds with no risk at all. And if I do need to kill mobs, then I just have permanent fury and evades and vault, and they just die. Easy.
But I mean, presumably you'd be using Berserker gear for that, Brazil.
Yes.
In the new map, you're crazy.
Disgusting.
The amount of berries you get, and magic, by the way, is as well. The amount of unbound magic you get because it's 100% farm. It isn't just about the ascended trinkets and stuff you're getting. There's money to be made there, quite a bit actually. So, and I think too that for those people who are going after those rewards, you're burning those players out even faster. Like they're eating through that content even faster than they would have normally. Which it might be too late for that, to be quite honest. But
yeah, if you just
There's
have
now a new copy capacity.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is in ArenaNet's interest to limit the amount of income that a player can have, because the faster a player can acquire gold, more or less, the faster a player can complete whatever gold they have for them. A lot of the time, right? Because at the end of the day, most stuff in Guild Wars 2 boils down to gold, and they don't want to have these insane farms like multi-loot and the new map, berry farm. Is just destroying the market, just completely flooding it with all of this insane
it's a very good farm.
don't get me wrong. I don't think it's destroying the market. I think that it diminishes the usefulness of the map faster than it's intended. And I know that that's a very unpopular opinion, but it doesn't make it untrue.
I think they should. I mean, they should probably just nerf it in the fact that. Like, you get the same rewards from Bloodstone and from the first map and the second map, but this is just, like, 3 times better. Like, literally at least 3 times better right off the bat.
Even if you went back to the other maps and made them equal to berries as in number of times you can farm them and output, berries would still be better because there are more rewards. There's a more variety of rewards on the map. And they are more centrally located where wood and mining nodes are more spread out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't think that's a problem, considering that there are 3 maps to do now, and why not make the last ones just go faster so it doesn't take 3 hours?
I'm not saying that they shouldn't make those changes to those maps. They should equalize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be like it should go from this to this.
I'm just saying that berries will still be better. That doesn't mean they shouldn't make changes to just other maps. I think
almost by default, they're going to be better because they're guaranteed, right?
And you don't have to salvage them.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great thing. Oh my goodness. So
and
good.
I think one of the bigger problems too is that berries is 100% mine. You always get a berry. But you don't always get bloodstone. You don't always get petrified wood.
You get it like 1/4 of the time, 1/5 of the time.
Do you not think that's to a certain extent that is counted out by the fact that you can get the other currencies by doing events, right? Whereas in the new map, you don't get them by doing events as much, and there isn't. And this is cheap.
You do.
Oh, you do? Oh, I'm an idiot. Then. Oh, okay, never mind.
You get them from doing events. You get them from opening ice chests, and you can buy them from Karma.
I never get them from the chests. Everyone says, you get the berries from the chest, but I seem to never get them.
There was 2 people who got precursors last night from the chests as well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Great.
But this is actually something I was really searching for. There is no meta event on this map. In fact, nothing actually interesting happens on the map in terms of events.
There is a meta event.
Well, yeah, you have to do the stupid. Yeah, you have to do the braziers, but that shit doesn't even count, dude. Come on. You summon champions. It's not a proper meta event, is it? It's kind of whatever. And then you have to kill the champions, and the chests appear, and then you have to melt them with the braziers. Well, I mean, I guess that's fun. I guess.
I do think there should have been.
Where's the giant boss?
Finale to the meta event. Yeah, I understand that, and I do agree, but
it's just. I don't know. At least you've got the little mini bosses. You got the giant worm. You got the sloth. You have the jade arm, which is lame as fuck, but at least it's a boss, right? In Bloodstone Fen, you've got Hableon. He's a little mini boss style thing. You've got the jade arm as that, and then you've got the Veil Guardian. That's pretty cool, right? That's a pretty cool thing to have in the open world. But on this new map, don't have anything.
Maybe that's why the farm is so much better. Because they want to give you to compensate, exactly.
No, this is something we really need to address. What's up with the bitter cold?
I think it was unfinished and rushed.
I mean, there's nothing there. Why would you ever go there?
There's a concentration of mobs, but those mobs don't drop anything any more useful than any of the others, and really you should just farm the Brazier meta to if you're gonna do that.
But I mean,
I think actually that it will bring us to our next place. Maybe I think it's going to be added onto in the next living world.
But
maybe not the next one. But
there's all kinds of bugs with the bitter cold as well. There's a bunch of achievements and stuff in the bitter cold, but you would think that for an area that you need to unlock every day if you want to go in there, that there would be something
something there, right?
That happens there.
We talked about how it's bugged, and if you hit replay story, you can't get any of the drops, and you can't make the elixir again.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of bugs when it comes to the elixir thing.
But I mean, a big part of the story was, making this elixir to find this dragon minion.
Which nobody remembers how to make after they do the story.
Yeah, and then you go there and you go, you got to make the elixir to survive the bitter cold. You got to go to this spooky area, and you do the story. Yeah, we did it. And you go back and you did make the elixir again. There's even a daily for it, like a daily chest for doing this, and there is literally nothing there.
If you look at the map, the interesting thing about the bitter cold is that if you go towards it and through it, it goes directly towards the Eye of the North, the Hollow Monuments. And
I understand that. And I just feel like the bitter cold was supposed to be something more than what it is. There's a whole discussion that you can go into. Wood and Potatoes went into it quite a bit on how the second half of the story feels rushed and a bit unfinished in a number of ways, mechanic-wise, a bit story-wise. And the bitter cold falls into that area, that category, where it feels like there was supposed to be something more there that just wasn't. It's just not there. And if you do make the elixir every day, like someone else was saying, you're basically wasting 12 berries, which are way more valuable to save than to, make the elixir.
You can get in there without making the elixir, though, like with the staff, with the Koda's Flame. You just won't stay there very long.
Right, you get the stacks and eventually it kills you if you can't.
Yeah.
Which there's an achievement for getting 20 stacks or something.
Yeah, which is easy because I think you get the stacks while you're downed.
Yes, you still get them while you're down. So as long as you don't die quickly, there you go.
I don't know. I think
they just ran out of time. They literally ran out of time. That's all I can think.
It's not very possible.
It's just a bit of a shame.
It's very possible. I do think that it's also possible that it's the entrance to another map at some point. I think it might
even
be.
If it was, that's a fair. Like I said, that's fair to say. Even if it was, though, don't you think there should be some sort of event that happens there on a daily basis, or every couple hours, or whatever?
Because I believe in the trailer, I think there's an unused model that isn't even in the game or in the story. Maybe it got cut or something. The undead Jormag. He's like half dead. Like half his face is a skull. His arm is all fucked.
Oh no! He's one of the champions that.
Oh, is he? This is how much I was paying attention to this map, guys. Okay, there we go. It's a good thing we got lore expert MMO Inc. So he is in the game then. Okay, I thought that he could be a big boss there. The amazing scary boss. He's half dead and half frosty. Oh.
I mean, the fact that the bitter cold is there means that direction is probably where Jormag is, past that, right? So if we want to go down after Jormag, we have to go through there. And
it leads you to believe that Jormag is fairly close to this map. Like wherever he is roosting or sitting or whatever, he's fairly close to this map.
And we're gonna need cold elixir to take him.
There's the other thing too, where they have the carving of the claw of Jormag that is like, it's just like Mount Rushmore. It's nothing. It's just that was a bit disappointing for me.
Wasn't it them? It would be cool if that came to life in some way, but I think it's just them worshiping it.
There's also claws flying around in the sky, which is really cool, but like they don't land, they don't do anything to.
Same thing with ore. Same thing with ore. It's
it's true.
I guess we're getting closer to
his domain, and so they're in the sky.
Yeah,
it's nice in a sense that they're flying in the sky right above where the actual claw event is. So like they're flying around and then they fly down into the event and get slaughtered by players, and then there's a new claw. But
yep. Mm-hmm. I think it is a great looking map. I just think it is just a little bit dead almost. There's just not much
to
farmer. See. Yeah, it's a farm map, but
it's you're right. It is beautiful though, because
it looks great.
That forest is so nice, and I wish there were griffins that come
I think
and
the fog is a little bit too much. I get that it's supposed to be all, it's a blizzard, it's all cold. The chill is just too much. But I think when you try and glide, you can't really get good views of stuff because of how just blurry everything is. Yeah, you just can't see anything. It's just going, okay. But I don't know. It's a really cool map. It's a shame the events aren't more developed and have a kind of meteor conclusion. It's pretty nothing. A lot of nothing.
Well, we learned in the Ask Me Anything as well that apparently there's like 3 living story teams, and they work in 6-month development cycles. So the first team gave us Bloodstone Fen, the second team gave us Ember Bay, now the third team gave us the new map Bitterfrost Frontier, which means the next living story patch, map or not, and at this point I think players are kind of expecting a map because they said they're going to try and do that. That will be back to the Bloodstone Fen group again. It'll be interesting to see like what they've learned and developed since they've done their first patch, which was the first one we got of the Living Worlds season.
Do you think we're ever going to go to the Blood Legion homelands? Because we're getting close to that too.
Maybe eventually.
Where are we getting close to that?
Maybe that's what Ritlock Trombone has been hiding.
Yeah. They've taken him back to the homeland.
I mean, at this point, I'm actually pretty convinced that
did they elect Trump or something?
Yeah, they're building a new wall.
I'm pretty sure that ArenaNet are just gonna hope that people forget about Ritlock, so they never have to fill in that plot hole ever. I think we'll never know what actually happened. It's actually gonna be a meme at this point. It's gonna be a running joke that a character will ask Ritlock and he'll say, not now. We have business to attend to. Yeah, later, Cub. I'll explain later.
Trying to get the ghost to pay for the wall construction.
I mean, they even got rid of him just so that we couldn't find out anything about him. He's gone. Yeah, he's been tried for something because he ran away or whatever.
Yeah. But you could probably find him in your guild hall now that you're part of Dragon Guard.
Dragon's Watch?
Dragon's Watch?
Dragon's Watch.
I don't even know the name of that. Well done.
I know it's not Fate's Razor. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's all you know.
Yeah.
What about Uncle? What is it? Uncle Beamish? Uncle Beamish's magic sword?
Yeah. Which are we saying that is definitely not Sahat then? Magdare?
Magdare? I doubt it.
Okay. That'd be pretty funny.
Either way, we got our guild, and Bram doesn't want to join because he's.
Bram's like, you know what? F you, Commander.
Well, I mean, fine. Bram's character is, special needs. Okay, that's fine. Okay, because you can have a character that's written like that. You can have a stubborn idiot, just completely illogical person. That's like most people on the planet anyway, especially in the Guild Wars 2 community and subreddit. So he would rather pug raids. He'd rather pug raids. But I mean, why does the player character have to just be a moron? Can we just discuss this a little bit? Why does the player character have to be an idiot?
So why do you think the player character is an idiot? I don't disagree, but why do you think he's an idiot?
Because we're in this situation. Bram's all angry. He's already pissed at us because we kind of lured the Svanir onto him by doing this weird bullshit by turning into a Svanir and disguising as it,
and then by reusing a plot device.
Yeah.
The
Mersat disguises back. Then we go hang out with them, and then we sort of go, "Hey, Bram, you want to join our guild, buddy, old pal?" And says, "Oh, okay. Why character? Please, come on, dude. Why are you doing this? And then Bran kind of just completely just demolishes us, just wrecks us, insults us, and say he wouldn't even Air wouldn't even want us in Destiny's Edge. I mean, that's pretty fucking savage. I actually cried after
What
that.
I love
That
about
was
it
just
is
brutal.
the fact that we assume that everybody just wants to be our friend. Everybody wants to be in the Commander's Guild. Why wouldn't you want to be? We've killed two
dragons.
Not too impressive dragons, but we've killed two of them.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to be in our guild? World first.
World first. Yeah.
And Bram's like, you know what? No, I don't want to be in your guild because you suck. And you killed my mother. Thanks.
I'm gonna go hang in this dead guild. No one even plays it anymore. Yeah.
Where I'm the only member.
Yeah.
Me, unconscious Logan, and unconscious Zojo
Yeah.
are the only members left.
Hey, you got Kaith, who's just invisible.
Nah, she's babysitting.
Yeah.
Babysitting. Yeah.
So that
Adventures in babysitting.
So I mean, Destiny's Edge is out of commission. Let's be honest here. They're not doing anything. So you might as well join our Fate's Watch, Razor's Dragon or something, whatever it's called. That guild.
Dragons. Yeah.
Dragon's Razor. I don't know. I don't know. It's a great guild, guys. It's a great guild. But I mean, I don't really understand Bram's reaction. I mean, our character was kind of being a bit of a clown. It was not an appropriate time to be asking him this, especially after we trolled him up really hard. But
he wasn't too happy with us to begin with. And we arrive to help him and Rox out. And Rox, of course, is happy to see us. And Bram is like,
fuck you.
And then you're like, oh, by the way, my bad, but I sort of impersonated you. And they sort of think that, you're to blame. And he's like, oh, thanks, Commander. What a great guy. He's like, well, me and Rox have to go now.
Yeah.
Like, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
And Bram's like, okay, I guess so. And then you're like, hey, so we formed this new guild. I know your mom just died, and she was like the leader of the old guild, but since she's dead,
let's get a new one.
And we made a new guild, and you should join. He wasn't too happy about that.
No.
But to be fair, against Bram though, as opposed to against the commander, his plan. What is his plan? What's his plan against Dormag right now?
Bram smash.
Bram smash.
Yes, he chips the tooth. He united the Norns. They will go forth.
It doesn't have any other damage on it. It's still at 100%. But he chipped the tooth with the arrow.
Yes.
And he expects to
kill a dragon with that bow. Simple.
Just make it toothless, and then you train it. You train that dragon.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, so there's a number of the Norn who strongly believe in the myth of if you crack the tooth, then you're supposed to be the Norn who unites the people to take back your homeland. And so that's what Bram is going for.
Exactly.
He's going to unite the Norn to be idiots and run headlong into a dragon's mouth.
And die.
And your commander and...
Are the Norn not united?
Well,
they're very individualistic. They don't typically band together. And
not only that, but not all of them. You find out that this myth is just that. It's supposed to be this thing that stops young warriors from running off and trying to kill the dragon every single time, rather than the multitude of other legends they try to form.
Wait, hold on a second. Silent just said, but you cracked the tooth in the personal story. Maybe I did not play the Norn personal story. Is this true?
I haven't played it in a long time, and I don't remember that.
If that's the case, doesn't this make this incredibly redundant, especially if you're a Norn commander?
Yeah, and you're just like, Bram, I already did it. I'm the guy who
you lose, dude.
if that's, can you find a link to that, Cyan? Because that would be interesting. Because I honestly don't remember that. It's been forever since I've done the Norn personal story.
Norn personal story tooth.
If that happened, then this makes no sense whatsoever. The reason that Bram can even crack it is because he has got a magic scroll to up his DPS.
But you gotta
the weapon.
What do you see, Boots? Is it happening?
No, I don't think it does.
Oh, so Cyan was just trolling us, or what?
Maybe.
I don't remember it, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I've even played Norn personal story. So I have no idea.
But
it says in the personal story you won't be able to break it. You don't even try.
You don't even try.
Yeah. Okay, Cyan.
Cyan, nice try, bro.
Yeah, you didn't quite crack the tooth, huh? Cyan more like lion.
Whoa! Ooh, that's very nice, Brazil. Actually, that's pretty good.
But I don't know. I actually liked the change in Bram. I like the development of his.
Are you stupid? Are you nuts?
I love it. I love it. As opposed to what? Just plain old Bram running around with Timey going kabram?
No, I would have liked Bram to have become a Spawnier because our way didn't work, and then we have to kill him.
We have to put him down.
Nah, I like this development in him.
I think it's
going to end terribly.
I think
might get somebody else killed, which would be fantastic.
Do you think he's going to get corrupted and we have to put him down?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good possibility.
Maybe.
But I think he's definitely, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit forced, but they're trying to make him a more flavoursome character because he was insanely bland before now. He's kind of, oh yeah, what should we do?
A number of them are, right? So the one...
In this...
go ahead.
In this thread from 2 years ago, they're saying, okay, so if the truth is ever destroyed, all Norn will march on Jormag, making the first Norn army ever.
Right.
Lore-wise, a Norn army would be the most devastating thing that ever happened in Tyria, including the awakening of Elder Dragons.
I don't know that.
I mean, that's the old lore. I don't know.
Maybe in the lore that's true, but...
And the Pact, the Pact was a big army. We took down a dragon with the Pact. And it was just made out of Pact members. So that's just the Vigil, and the other two, Order of Whispers and the Priory. And not everybody in the world joins those orders.
Right, not every Norn, right?
Yeah. I remember joining those orders. It was a bit of an ordeal. It wasn't that easy to join them. You had to go through trials and stuff. So probably maybe just the raiding community of Guild Wars 2 percentage-wise joins orders in Tyria. So maybe 5% of Tyria joins those orders. So yeah, if all of the Norn, that's 20%.
Regardless of that, though, there's an underlining story thread that teaches us that if you don't combine all of the armies or all of the races together on Tyria to fight the dragons, you're going to lose. So if you don't have a combined army of multiple races contributing to make it large enough... That just
sounds like human propaganda or whatever Brand said.
Maybe. But, that's the lesson you learn from the Mersat and the Seers.
Mm-hmm.
They joined forces to fight Zaitan. The Dwarves were supposed to help, and the Jotun were supposed to help, and they decided they're not going to. So then the Mersat and the Seers end up getting defeated, and then the Mersat kind of say, you know what? Fuck all of you. We're just going to phase out.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Yeah. If we're being
honest,
realistically, if you just put every player who's ever beaten raids to a good degree in a raid squad, the Dragons wouldn't stand a chance. Let's be honest.
True.
That's a lot of elitism.
I don't know, if we had Salt Raiders, they'd probably be fine.
Even Salt Raiders. Raiders. Just think of the buff uptime there. You'd have so many boons all the time.
When you think about it too, not Divinity's Reach. What's it called? Destiny's Edge is a guild.
Destiny's Edgy. Oh.
I mean, they did a lot of good stuff, right? But they couldn't
Champions.
even complete a raid together. They wouldn't be able to do a raid. There were only 5 people.
Oh, but
they,
left.
they don't have any damage either. They're all in fucking nomads gear or something.
Yeah.
His girlfriend called and he had to go out, so when they failed, raid fell apart.
Yep.
That's right.
The guild falls apart and they just disband. I mean, they don't even have enough people, so it wouldn't get anywhere anyway. I mean, how many?
Yeah,
I mean, they could do low man, I guess, but
one of their members rage quit. Snap just rage quit life.
yeah,
It's like I'm done.
Rage quit life. I mean, even worse though. I mean, their mesmer isn't even. Their mesmer uses staff, right? I mean, what the fuck is this? They have a power reaper. Ritlock is a warrior. Well, he was a warrior with a pistol, but now he's a revenant. I mean, that's not even a profession anymore.
Nah, not very good.
Braham is a mace guardian. I don't know what's going on there. Mace, shield, longbow.
His protection.
He's the tank.
What is this?
I don't know.
Why did you just link Bram to me?
Because apparently it says he
Bram's
joined
wiki
Dragon's
says he
Watch.
Joined Dragon's Watch. That's good.
What?
Wiki. Good job.
Yeah, he's in. He's in.
He secretly, off screen, he was like, "Listen, Commander, no, I'm sorry, I had to say that stuff."
In front of rocks, I'm trying to act cool.
Yeah, trying to be cool. So, can I join? Can I still be a member?
The commander honestly doesn't the commander has no chill though. Like
No chill.
whenever somebody like makes jokes to him, he's always like, ha ha, I get that joke, and like
I love when you're in Asura and you talk to Timey. She treats you like you're a moron, doesn't know anything. That's my favorite part of being.
I despise the Timey character. I actually can't really describe the dialogue because I actually didn't listen to it. I actually just took my headphones off. I'm sorry. That character is Timey is an insult to Guild Wars 2. Timey is an insult to Guild Wars 2 that character even exists. It's Cancer, it's Mary Sue, it's Timey Ex Machina, it's stupid. Oh my god, I can't deal with this
Spencer,
shit. Spencer, this fucking poobah shit. This fucking communicator, she knows everything. It's just what a terrible character. Oh my god.
Teapot. What is the ocean dragon's name? I forget.
No, don't do this to me. You're giving me flashbacks, dude. This is.
What's his name? It skips my mind. I forgot.
No. I mean, Timey should be removed from the game immediately.
Kick Timey from the guild.
Kick Timey from the guild. I bet she's not even using Berserker gear. Wait, is she engineer?
Yeah, I think so.
She's an engineer.
I bet she's using. Wait, she doesn't have the movement speed, so she needs some
Full
fucking traveler
Wanderers.
runes or something.
Wanderers.
Yeah, she's definitely not Wanderers. I don't even know.
You guys are funny.
Well, Timey at this point in the storyline is just a mechanism, right? She's just
Cortana.
Yeah.
She's there to give. Yeah, she's Cortana,
Yeah.
and whatever, deal with it.
Except
It's
she's
better than
really
getting
annoying.
mail. It's better than getting mail from Mr. E all the time. I have to say.
Yeah, I guess so. That's fair.
I mean, it's Timey. What's the second name? Second name is Exposition. It's Timey Exposition.
Maybe that's what Mr. E is. Mr. Exposition.
Oh, Mr. Exposition. Wow. No, I don't know, man. This character just honestly sickens me. I can't listen to it. It just your character acts like a retard. Your character has no knowledge whatsoever of anything. Even though you've been doing this dragon thing for a little while now, you kind of be able to figure out how this stuff works, and then you just look like a clown. And I don't know, man. It's just, and the worst thing is that she may be growing up, but she is a child, so she can't be killed off either. There is no hope, guys. There is no hope.
Well, she's 16.
2 more years.
Wow.
Legal to kill.
You can't just be killing kids. Come on, guys. That's fucked up.
She won't be a kid in 2 more years.
Yeah.
She'll be an adult.
I don't even know what to say honestly about Timey. The the previous episodes, I can deal with it. Yeah, ha, yeah, Timey is the greatest. Oh, Timey's hard carrying us. Oh, Timey got us to Ember Bay. Good thing we got Timey to hard carry us with all of this, random things that we can do to stabilize the volcano or some bullshit like that. Oh, of course Timey can use all of this technology that none of the other Azura can use. Yeah, that's fucking great. I can tolerate it, but just the dialogue in this episode was just too far. It was just a timey too far, guys. It was a tiny bit too far, and it really triggered me. It really triggered me.
That'd be a great counter to have on a stream, Nike.
What?
Countdown to Timey's legal death.
Yeah.
Legal age of death. 2 more years, guys.
See, look, even Sugar Wraith says bad dialogue, cringeworthy, and then an unhappy face, and that is the sign that it's out of control. I don't know. Does anyone here? Go on, Boots. You're very positive. You're a positive guy. Defend Timey. Let's go. Or maybe even you can't do it.
I've never been a big fan of Timey, but like at first I was like, yeah, good. It's a character that has a disability that's showing that they could still do a lot of stuff. It was good. But I don't know, like, yeah, the dialogue for her it's very it tries to be slightly meta, but also it's color commentary the whole time, and it's not great for me. It's like it doesn't hit my funny bone ever. Some people probably enjoy it, but for me it's not really there. And at this point, she's gone through her character arc, and right now she's in exposition mode. She's in solve everybody's problems mode. So in some ways, I'm okay with that because she's somewhere else feeding us information that we would get in some other weird way. But in other ways, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I don't particularly like her either.
She was winning me, and I know Brazil hated this, but she was winning me over a little bit when her and Ritlock were sort of bantering back and forth. But then in the next episode, she's on the phone again, telling you to collect samples and be a little smartass,
To be fair, actually, Timey as a character is very much along the lines of what I'd rather the commander act like sometimes.
No, I think Timey is the correct NPC for the story because it appeals to what they've written the story for, and that's children. What kid doesn't want to be a superhero that knows everything? It's perfect.
And has a dragon to train?
Mm-hmm. It's a kid show with dragons, and it's literally like watching Lazy Town.
I don't know what that is. Is that a kid show?
Yeah, it is.
Lazy Town.
So, like, when I said the commander has no chill, it's because he never comes up with good things to say to other people. Like, it's always, but no, we have to go to the north, and I will find this, and okay, he doesn't do anything interesting. It's just duty. And so, like, I don't.
That was a bad word.
Oh my god. I don't know. Like, I think if the commander had a little bit more of Timey's personality in him, it might be more interesting to me as a main character.
What part of Timey would you like to be?
We should just honestly
irreverent.
Have Thrall. Thrall would be a better
irreverent.
Her gimped leg.
A little more irreverent.
Just give us Thrall. Thrall's better than this.
But I mean, what? This is a serious situation, Boots. These dragons are gonna fuck us up, dude. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna get us.
It's like Pixels. Those space aliens are gonna get us.
Yeah, they are gonna get us. I mean, do you
gamers to save the day.
Do you want to get eaten by a dragon, Boots? No.
I know it's all very important stuff.
And we got to train our dragon to fight the other dragons. And we're gonna do Pokemon. We're gonna put the fire dragon on the ice dragon and see what happens.
It's Groudon versus Kyogre.
It's just they're gonna bash into each other.
Yeah.
It's like Billy and Mark Wolf, right?
Who wins that?
Billy always wins.
You haven't seen it.
Oh, no. Why would I? No. Who won? Who won?
You think you're a real fan?
Well, I mean, no.
Who do you
Not
think
really.
won? Billy won.
I mean, I would
course.
expect Billy to
Billy
win. But I mean,
course.
he certainly looks like he would win that. He's the bigger guy, you know.
Have you?
How bad is it? How bad is it when gay wrestling has a better plot than the Guild Wars 2 living story?
Stop.
Would you say Gachamuchi has a better plot line than Guild Wars 2?
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. If they added that line into the game, that everything's forgiven. If one of the characters says, "Oh shit, I'm sorry," and then the player character says, "Sorry for what?" I forgive Guild Wars 2.
I will do a face cam reveal, and I will forgive everything bad I've ever said about this game.
There you go. You heard it here first. Would it be and stuff like, you know what, Jormag, I'll give you one more round. And this time you're gonna summon an icicle, and I'm gonna watch you.
You're wrong, Teapot. Not one more round, not one more second.
Oh, nice! That's really meta, actually. Whoa! Yeah, that's nice, actually.
Ram's perfect for it. He's a big, muscly Norn.
Yeah.
Perfect candidate.
This has got a little bit off topic, I think.
That's good.
Yeah. Let's see. So, Guild Wars 2, right?
Wait, yeah.
What else happened? Oh yeah, we did the dragon training thing, right? That was interesting.
Yeah, buggy story achievements. Doing it together gives it
A number
to the
of people
instant
had problems. I didn't have any problems, luckily.
safe spotting the final boss and trivializing it and stuff.
Lilo really liked it. Lilo's really enjoyed that part
Find
of
someone else to marry, Boots.
it. I didn't like it that much.
I'm not into the whole train our dragon kind of thing, but
I mean, I guess it's kind of cute,
whatever.
right? I
Yeah,
guess
it's cutesy.
But I don't feel like it really progressed the story at all, really.
Well, yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's
what
it's
happens?
what you would expect. So we want to train the dragon to be a good guy and not a bad dragon.
Mhm.
So I understand it, but you know, and you can go play fetch with her if you want. After
Yeah,
you're
you can
done.
throw a ball, and it actually works as well. It's kind of cool, actually.
It makes me wonder what level, like now I guess you don't wonder anymore, but what level of intelligence Aurene is at, because she's young, but while the baby was in the egg, they'd give you visions of like things to come and what you should worry about. And so for a while, I always thought that Aurene as an entity was wise beyond her years, but now I'm thinking, oh no, it's just a baby dragon that doesn't know anything.
Right.
No,
Well,
it's
not very much.
a baby animal. Like baby alligators can bite your fingers off, and they can't control when they're able to use it, other than for fun. It's fun. See, it's kind of like Timey. She's a genius, whatever, and she just spams memes and has bad writing. So like it's the same thing. Like it has powers, but the development isn't there yet, and that's the purpose of the dragon training. So you develop it to your influence, so it's good.
Mm.
And what's going to end up happening is the Exalted, like we've already seen the conflict, like the Exalted are going to disagree with us at some point, and they're going to try and take the dragon with us because their whole purpose is to keep the dragon safe. They're the neutral third party, and we're going to put it in danger doing something because we have to take Aurene to the front line to beat a monster. And then Lazarus is going to come in and kill the Exalted, and he's going to say, no, you're right, Commander. I have to make the hard decisions. See, he's kind of like me in raids, I guess you could say. But he's the necessary evil.
You
It's gonna
flame
be something
people
like
so
that.
others don't have to flame.
Right.
Well,
I'll
she'll
be the
grow
bad
up,
guy.
and then we'll get a mastery for dragon riding, and it'll be all
And
over.
that's the next expansion.
It's the next expansion. Done.
Are we gonna get Dragon Mount in the next expansion?
Dragon Mount confirmed.
You can only use it in the personal story, not anywhere else.
Oh yeah, just out of interest, did the special action hotkey on the final fight of the Dragon Training work for any of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did absolutely nothing for me. It didn't even activate once.
What do you mean?
Wait, what?
The final boss, you know, the Thrash you
Yeah.
have to
The
fight.
Leecher. Yeah, I
Yeah, the
just stood
Leecher.
in a corner and shot it with pistols.
But I
and
was
it didn't
trying.
do
I was trying to make it do the
You
special
fight it-
action key, but it
Yeah, the
never.
special action
It never
key doesn't-
appeared.
It doesn't.
Oh.
You have to stand in the white circle.
But
Yeah,
and it
there
still
were no
doesn't work.
there weren't any
There were white
circles
circles for
You-
me, and it still
The way,
for
yeah,
me.
the way it works is you fight it for 30 seconds or so, and then white circles appear. You stand in it, and then you use the special action key, and it brings down 80% of the thing's health. And if it's not dead yet, you attack it for another 30 seconds, and either you kill it because it's down at 10%, or you do the special action key.
But none ever spawned for me. There weren't any circles there.
No, there probably
Oh.
were, or there weren't. I did it a couple of times. And see, there's this interesting thing called color theory, where why would you put white circles on top of gold and white sparkly backgrounds? Why would you do that? Why would you make it hard to see on the floor? And also, why would you put a little ledge where you can just stand behind and it doesn't ever hit you and suck you in with its leech attack and you can just range it in AFK? Why would you do something like that?
Maybe the circles only
those
spawn for the.
stories, I don't know.
Do they only spawn for the instance owner or something? Because I don't think I was the instance owner.
It's
Oh,
possible.
probably.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
possible.
Because I was with other people and I don't know.
I
I
think
had
the instance owner is the one who has to activate her.
oh, but I mean I had the button, but there were just never any circles for me to stand in.
Yeah, that happened with me the first time I did it.
I didn't have. I mean, I did it with a group once and solo once. I didn't have any issues, but I was the instance commander both times, or the instance owner both times. I will say that her breath attack was difficult to see. One time I could kind of see it, the other time I didn't see it at all, and I don't know whether that could just be my crappy hardware.
It was just a spray. It wasn't much. But we've learned that she's very powerful. We weren't able to kill her, but we killed the thing easily, but it took down 80% of the guy's life. So, whatever that spray attack.
Isn't that kind of a simulation though? It's kind of a made up thing just to demonstrate
Just to make
that you
her
have
feel
to.
better.
Well, not even that. It's just to demonstrate the merits of teamwork. The merits
Yeah,
of teamwork, Boots.
Probably,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
you're
a
right. You're
it
right.
was a foe that you can't defeat on your own, except if you just take some time, and it will actually be defeated eventually.
Or you
Or
just
just-
safe spot it.
take a bunch of people with you to kill it quickly.
If you have the
Maybe
DPS
you
exploit,
maybe you did too much DPS, Teapot.
if you have quickness and ice
Take
probe,
a full meta comp to do the story.
full meta.
Yeah.
Full meta comp. Okay, guys.
Go. Ice bows
we're
down. Ice bows down.
You didn't even
First-
have, Brazil. You didn't even have to safe spot it though, because as long as you're not next to Oreen, if you're on the other side of Oreen, the only attack the thing does against you is that ray attack, basically with the vines, and that does I think 5 stacks of bleeding, which go away pretty fast. It doesn't do anything to you.
yeah, where you can just AFK
Yeah, you
and it
can.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
really?
also
You're saying Oreen just doing the okay?
No, nothing. It doesn't. It literally does nothing. It just stares at Aurene the whole time, and you can just auto attack it to death with a ranged weapon.
And it doesn't surprise me because in the previous story, when you have to protect her, I believe someone was saying that you can't actually fail that instance. Like it's just impossible to fail.
I mean, it's not supposed to be hard, is it? It's just a personal story.
Like, you can literally
Yeah,
just go-
actually. Oh my
You
god!
go
What?
AFK and I don't think the shield actually breaks.
Were there a bunch of people complaining about how the veteran and elite mobs were too hard in the Braham and Rock section? Didn't a lot of people
Well,
complain
like
about
that.
that?
Well, the complaint that I seen was that they're labeled as like veterans or something, but they're not actually veterans. Not
Elites.
veterans. What's the other one? Elites.
Elite.
Yeah, they're labeled as
Elites.
elites, but they're not actually elites. They're like, less than that. That's the complaint I seen anyway. I don't know.
It's not a big deal.
No, it's not. I mean, the boss was cool though. Actually, I think a lot of people hated it, but I thought it was pretty cool with the Minotaur boss, the Minotaur boss, if you will. But you have to crush the
think that people
elementals with him. That's kind of
understand-
cute.
I like that one.
That's
I
kind of
liked
fun.
it.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty cool mechanic.
That was my favorite part of the story. This patch.
That was a pretty fun boss, and they had the other boss as well. He was kind of cool. You lure him onto the grubs and blow the grubs up. You know that's alright as well. It's a different way to fight a boss, right? Other than just bursting him down.
For the story stuff, it's fine, I guess, because it's the story, and they're not really trying to make it, anything too crazy or difficult.
In the new post Mesmer nerf raid comp, where do you get all your furies? Just from the druids?
Druid in the signet still. The signet still applies a lot of fury.
Yeah, in AKA in reality, you don't have fury at all in that comp.
You do though. I mean, how?
Don't.
Because
The tiger, you can't control the tiger's positioning, and you can't have the it might jump around the corner after Sabbatha when she teleports up to the platform. People may not be standing by it. It's like the same thing of saying realistic buffs is literally every buff on you at the same time on the golem.
Yeah,
and
but
that's a benchmark. It's not.
I think if you time it properly, you can have pretty decent uptime. Though,
yeah, the thing is though, the signet is still designed in a sufficient way that as long as your mesmer is playing correctly, it will be permanent fury, just on its own, right? I mean, and yeah, because it's 10 seconds, I believe, with 100% duration, and you get.
You want to make it easy perma fury, you just use altruism runes.
Well, I mean, easy perma fury is just having a chronomancer and a tiger.
No.
Nike and Hamato both say
there
Condi
is
Warrior.
no easy perma fury.
I mean, yeah, Condi Warrior is great
Clarion
choice
Bond,
there.
Tiger,
Yeah, I
Sigil.
mean, Clarion Bond, if you're really struggling for furry, just make sure you proc it. I mean, obviously, if you're playing Druid correctly, you'll proc it at the start of the fight anyway, and then use the Tiger as well. If you have Nature Magic, suppose you're running Nature Magic, then your pet has enough boon duration to make it permanent anyway with just the F2. And then...
So are warriors playing mostly Condi now, or are they switching between the two?
I think it's still pretty variable. I think on some bosses, power is better. On some bosses, Condi is better.
That's what I mean. So are they switching between Condi and power throughout the raid?
Yeah. They swap. For example, like on KC, you always want to have power because it's just superior to get the burst damage off. But I believe on stuff like Zera and Veil Guardian, I think maybe better off with Condi. Depends. I think maybe not on Veil Guardian.
No,
actually,
the problem with that is that it's conditional upon positioning, and people are going to go off and do mechanics, and it's not going to get distributed to everyone, and people aren't as good as other people, etc. Like, it's nowhere even near close to the same thing as a Revenant just pressing a button and just leaving it on.
I've been playing around with.
There are significantly more points of failure.
Are there though?
Yes.
I mean, as long as the
fate.
chrono does their rotation right, it just you're gonna give everyone fury.
No, because if the chrono doesn't get fury in the first place because of a point of failure failing,
they literally
then
have to
it's
have
not gonna
fury
happen.
once. They need fury
Yes.
once the entire fight because then the
Sure.
signets keep it up permanently.
It's a situation of, idealism versus realism.
I know at least one person who will love this. You know what they should do?
What do they do?
You can't
Just-
just say
They should just
say
love
that
Revenant and
wrong.
problem solved.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Having two tigers and chronomancers is going to be permanent fury for everyone all the time because it doesn't happen.
I think it's permanent in almost every single group, man.
I've
Like
been
nearly
playing
every
Go
group.
play with bad people that try hard and see if it is, and then it's just unpleasant for everyone.
I've been playing around with Elementalist in a bad way.
Oh,
I've
bad
been-
build. Bad build incoming.
No, it's not. I've just been doing Condi Ellie, and with unrealistic buffs with Condi Ellie, you could generate a very good sustain, 25 might and permanent fury.
By blasting, yeah? By blasting.
By blasting, but the fury uptime at the end of killing the DPS golem is like 3 minutes extra.
There's a little bit. There is a slight problem here. And the slight problem here is that there's going to be
It's the
ethereal
fields.
fields everywhere.
Yeah.
There's going to
I know.
be, if you've got guardians, there's going to be light fields everywhere. Just combos are just not very
easy.
reliable in
Well,
a
I mean,
raid scenario.
that's what a Condi Guardian, I mean, a Condi PS Warrior kind of does, though, and it still kind of works.
Yeah, it doesn't rely on the blast finisher. The blast finisher is nice, but you don't actually need it to do your job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a bad warrior. I never switch to Condi. I just stay in power.
Well, I mean, power is fine on
we already
every
knew
boss.
that.
There's, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
But no,
not a
it's
problem.
interesting. I was thinking it was kind of interesting just because, but at the same time, a normal power Ellie can not do the same thing, but if you're doing the lightning, fresh air instead
Fresh
of
air staff,
just
yeah.
plain fire.
You just blast on
And-
every
no,
auto
not
attack
staff. I'm
chain.
talking about Dagger Warhorn.
Would you, well, if you use lightning hammer, it'll be the fresh air staff build. Because
Yes.
you fill your auto attacks. You replace your air auto attacks basically with conjure weapon attacks.
Fresh memes build.
Yeah, it's the kind of favored build on a lot of bosses. So yeah, you blast with the lightning hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, with the Condi Ellie, I've just been rotating between actually fire and earth.
Is that worth? Is that even worth?
Well, it depends if you're using a scepter or a dagger. You could do really easy dagger warhorn Condi Ellie and get 30k with unrealistic buffs, just by staying in fire. But you could also do tryhard mode, fire then earth scepter warhorn Condi Ellie, get 28k DPS. With unrealistic buffs and get your 25 might and unlimited fury, and at the same time you're casting the copy all your boons to your party one, and then you're also in earth casting the.
It's not all your boons;
extend.
it's just might and fury.
Yeah, sorry, might and fury. No, and swiftness, I think, or something. But anyway, and then also you have the one in earth that extends the duration of all boons by 2 seconds, which is not great, I guess, but it's okay. And gives protection to people. So I don't know. It's an interesting to think about, but it's not going to be used ever. I don't think.
Well, I mean, so what for a start? What happens if the boss moves too much? So it moves out
Then
of
your
your
DPS
fields.
goes down by 10k.
And what happens? What happens if a mesmer casts a well before your fire field?
Does the fire field? Oh no, the first one is the Then you don't do as much might.
I like Condi Ellie. Condi Ellie's fine. And you run arcane skills, yeah? You probably run arcane, right?
For the easy version, yes, and that's an easy 30k plus DPS on.
And you run with the like arcane. Do you run arcane power and stuff and arcane brilliance with the trait?
Arcane power and the heal skill, yeah.
Yeah. And then you probably run what Signet of Fire and something else.
And the glyph.
Glyph of Storms. Glyph of course. That's what you'd pick. Yeah.
So that's
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Obviously less damage than Power Elementalist, but
play Condi Rev for easy might, fury, and protection.
Yeah, that's what
I wish.
That's what happened on the King 5-man Matthias, right? That's what happened on 5-man Matthias, no? Or 6-man. I can't remember what it was.
Condi Rev / Ventari Rev, right? Is that what we're talking about?
For healing as well, the ultimate
7K
hybrid.
DPS.
The ultimate hybrid build.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean that's really is quite something.
Yeah, so it wouldn't replace. Obviously, LNS is probably talking about this. You cannot replace a PS really. At least not both. You're not going to replace both PS because you need those banners.
You can't replace the buffs from Warrior are just so insanely good that you can't really live without them. Because you got Empower Allies, all the might, and then the banners on top of that. It just adds so many stat points to the group. It's out of control. Yeah. Warrior is just so good. It's so good.
But I guess as an ally, if you're not responsible for the might in that case, it's just like a little bonus or whatever, and you're just responsible for the fury, you won't have a problem with those fire fields because you have fire field from your war horn and from your overload, and those will be enough to give permanent Fury. Like they might, one or two might get overwritten, but it'll be enough in the end because you're going to be blasting a lot of them. Just not enough for the Might.
I don't know. I do you not think it might be easier just to have
anything else?
Your Druid press F2?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that I don't really see Fury problems. Even in Pugs, I seem to have Fury in some other boons as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Fury is just the least of everyone's problems now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you're really struggling, then just take Nature Magic or something. But I mean, I'd argue that marksmanship is even easier because you just start on the opposite pet and then swap at the start of the fight, and you've already just buffed everyone with a massive duration of Fury, and then the Chronomancer can carry you to victory. And if things are really getting out of hand, like you say, maybe you've got a Dagger Warhorn Ellie, they just press Heatsink, boom, spreading all that Might and Fury around.
Mm-hmm.
Just Fury is easy mode, man.
Yeah.
You got to worry about quickness. That's what you got to worry about.
Yeah, Heatsink's pretty good.
Yeah, Heatsink's really good, and so is Sand Squall. Sand Squall is really strong. Because you help your Chrono out. Maybe your Chrono fucked his rotation. Boom, Sand Squall. 2 extra seconds of quickness for free. Value. Mm-hmm. And then you have Ellies. They're all using it, so actually you get 4 seconds extra. And they've got the trait. They both got the trait as well. 8 seconds extra quickness with 4 Ellies.
As a power Ellie, how much DPS do you lose by going into Earth to do Sand Squall?
With Fresh Air, it's probably not really that much of a big deal.
Okay.
But I don't know. If you're playing normal staff, that sucks. You're gonna be doing some Earth autos. And I don't know, Fresh Air staff.
You don't have Sand Squall
because you can't Sand Squall. So yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. So if you're playing like some weird Condi Ellie where you'd go into Earth, I don't know if it's a DPS loss to even use Earth. I'm pretty sure Fire is better, right? I don't know.
Fire is better for easy mode with the Dagger Scepter, but Dagger Warhorn. But with Tryhard, it's Earth and Fire. You could go back and forth.
I don't know. Nice, if you nice have, group in the background there.
Yeah.
The party.
If you have Fresh Air and you have a Warhorn, you can probably use both those abilities, and it probably doesn't make any difference, or not a significant difference. Whereas if you have a Staff, you can't do that because you don't have a Warhorn. And if you have, I mean, you just can't do that.
You can't do that.
But you can have the trait, though. You can still have the trait. You can still have Imbued Melodies, which is a really good trait. That whenever you lose your Scholar buff, you take damage below 90%, you get a free Sand Squall. So even if you have a Staff, you can still have the Warhorn, yeah?
Mm-hmm. But hold on, Sand Squall is different from the one that extends your boons, doesn't it? Isn't it?
That is Sand Squall.
I thought Sand Squall was the one that did bleeding damage.
No, Sand Squall is the one that extends the boons.
I think you're probably right. I'm just gonna check.
I am the Elementalist Master. How dare you question me?
Good point. Good point.
How dare you question his powers?
Yeah, I know everything.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking Death Storm and Sand Squall. So Sand Squall.
I thought you were now the minstrel expert.
I am the minstrel expert. I am the best minstrel chrono in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to upload a video after tea time. Would I meme you a little bit for that?
Nice. Wait, what?
I finally finished my chrono build. The Commanders one.
Oh!
And I have memes about how to go follow MightyTeapot for the minstrel stuff.
Oh shit!
So you better get cracking for
yeah.
Video done.
Yeah, I am actually working on it right now. My God, this build is just actually retarded. This build is stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's gonna the amount of I don't know. I think the elitists will probably find it funny. Maybe some individuals might find it a little bit triggering, but goddamn, it's gonna be hilarious. This build is just it's the ultimate meme. This is the ultimate minstrel chrono build. I have found the perfect minstrel chrono build, guys.
I tried to,
when I say I have found it, I'm sure someone's actually done it before. Let's be real here, guys. No one actually makes builds. Someone's already done this shit, probably. But anyway,
I tried to get some advice, and I was told don't play minstrel.
No, Nike. Here's the thing. The mantra heal with altruism runes is actually permanent fury.
don't ruin Mesmers.
You just auto cast the heal.
But I don't know. I mean, this is the thing actually. This minstrel chrono build, to actually correctly pull it off, it does actually require a little bit. The rotation is probably a little bit more challenging than the normal Chronomancer rotation, which is basically just roll your face across the keyboard now. Why not the Mantra Heal? It's so good. It's so much value with Herald Runes, man. It's so much value. It's so good.
And the cleanse whenever you cast a heal skill trait.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, on Matthias, that's some value. Yeah. Oh, but I don't know, Nike. Trust me. The Mantra Heal is the least of your worries, buddy. Trust me. It's far worse than you could ever imagine, man. Oh, dude, this is gonna be a good video. This is gonna be a good meme. Alacrity is better value, but you can just have 3 shield dudes. You're running Minstrel, dude. You got 3 shield dudes. Yeah. Oh yeah, because on Mantra Heal, excellent choice. Mantra Heal, you can stun break everyone with the cleanse as well on Sloth. Yeah.
Oh, I learned something today. I had no idea. If you're playing Condi Druid or Condi Ranger or Necromancer, you should be playing Sylvari.
Yeah, for seed turrets, it's actually OP.
I didn't realize that they were that strong.
Yeah. It's like 5k DPS over the 30 seconds that they're there.
I can't believe they didn't fix that by now.
I don't think they even realized.
Why would they fix it? It's
because because they generally nerf those things, like I'm sure Brazil remembers Bear Form or Norn. Yeah, and Asura Technobabble, which is still pretty good, but it used to be ridiculously good. So I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that it's still,
Yeah,
because the racial skills were never supposed to be.
The seed turrets are better than Lich Form now. Feels bad, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god. They weren't supposed to be good. Maybe it will get nerfed. Then again, maybe it won't.
No, it's time to make a Sylvari Ranger.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, oh yeah, whatever. You can do that with a Chrono Heal tool. It's a condition. Well, you said boon remove, but you meant condition remove. Yeah, you can, but it requires that you would time it correctly. And come on, do you think I can do that? Come on, dude. I can't fucking do that shit. You just cast a mantra. You can do it while you're stunned. You can just go crazy.
Pain Inverter is the one I meant. Pain Inverter used to be really strong in World vs. World.
Because it would just make everyone suicide. It's good stuff.
It was pretty strong.
What did it do? Hang on, I need to look it up. Shit. Guild Wars 2.
It's the one that.
What actually happened to it? Hey, I mean, okay, detailed.
The one that gives
history.
Confusion to other people and then gives yourself retaliation. Was it?
Was that really that good?
I think
retaliation and confusion.
I think Taco Bell was the one because it was like a second and a half longer. I think at the beginning.
I don't know. I mean, there's an image being linked here. Reasons to live. Lich Form. Oh yeah. I mean, you don't have those anymore though.
I could have swore, maybe you could be right, Boots, but I could have swore that there was a time when Pain Inverter was being used a lot as well. Maybe when, you know what it might have been? When Rangers first got Longbow adjusted. So they were just running around spamming it. You could Pain Inverter them and quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. So do we want to take questions from the audience before heading out?
Do we? They never ask us anything. They always ask us weird sexual questions and then no actual questions.
Well, we could answer those questions.
I mean, I guess.
Boots really wants to answer your weird sexual question, so make sure you guys are ready.
Mm-hmm. Prepare yourselves.
Nike just zinged us. Pain Inverter was used a lot. In Guild Wars 1...
Yeah, it was great in Guild Wars 1.
Retaliation was...
nerfed in PvP?
Had to be nerfed.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that was it.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, this was...
In Guild Wars 1, it was insane. You could just make mobs suicide. Mobs were just suicide in Guild Wars 1, I guess.
Must be part of being Canadian.
No.
There's still one thing I don't like about Guild Wars 2.
What is it?
One thing?
Just one
thing. Okay. What is it?
That's been since the beginning of the game. And it's the fact that you can't knock mobs off of cliffs.
Oh yeah.
or bridges or
anything.
any narrow. Yeah.
Yeah, even if they don't have stability, just
Disgrace.
mm-hmm.
All right, Boots. Timey or Poobadoo if you had to.
Timey or Poobadoo.
That's
Poobadoo,
an easy. Yeah,
because
that.
I
Come
think
on.
Poobadoo is not.
Yeah. It's an easy
For
choice.
many reasons, Poobadoo. Because whales are sexy.
Let's see. Who's your favorite performance artist?
Who, me?
Well, I mean, Van Darkom, obviously. Right? Can you explain why you use Lightning Hammer on Tempest? Yes. You want to play Fresh Air Staff. You don't want to be spending your time doing these shitty air auto attacks, so you fill it up with some conjure weapons instead, and that's pretty good. And you also get bonus stats that make your air overloads even better with your Lightning Hammer and your Fiery Greatsword. So there you go.
What do we call the anime squad in the background? Let's Dragons Watch.
Yeah. There they are. This is our new guild.
That's our new guild.
We got a replacement Norn instead of Braham. We
Yep.
got this guy with the moustache and the weird hat.
We got Kate's replacement. Logan's replacement. We're good.
So Sorley wants to know, Teapot, do you shave certain areas or are you as hairy as Boots? I'm not as hairy as Boots. I think that's pretty
I don't
apparent,
think
right?
anyone is.
And you're a very, very hairy man, right?
Right.
An excellent song there. But wait, what? Will Hammer Warrior ever be a PvE tank? I don't know about that.
Sure.
Why? What?
Hammer Warrior?
What is the hammer
does that
do?
give
Well,
you a tank?
Hammer Warrior? You could knock the Seekers away with the strike thing. Right? On Veil Guardian. That's good. How many animes do I have on my anime list? Zero. I don't think I even have. I don't even have. Well, I definitely don't even have an account there. Let's see. How much for fisting? I think it might be $300. A standard price. Yeah, and you know, Inks is never gonna stream. You know, Inks says he wants to stream. He's never gonna stream because he knows who's gonna be in Twitch chat and asking you weird ass questions like this. Yeah, it's gonna be these guys.
Yeah, like ArenaNet, I'm scared.
Yeah, scared of the consequences. Someone told me that Hammer does more CC than Mace Shield. Might be worth a test.
Is that
so good. I love this.
Yeah, is that right? I don't know. Maybe. I think. But I mean,
Sure.
you can block on Mace Shield and all that good stuff. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the CC's about the same. Who knows?
I've never liked Mace Shield at all. I think I actually don't even use it. I just keep Sword Warhorn on my offhand. Because if you have to swap the CC on a warrior, then your group is bad.
Yeah. I think I usually do sword torch actually on my offhand.
Yeah, that one's good too. I use that a lot for holding spirits at Gorseval.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
They need
And
to
it
add
could
a
give you a
break
little bit
to
more
the
might
control.
also if you do a combo field and you get your fire aura. And
Powerful
then if you,
synergy, two
Power.
fire fields.
Oh yeah.
no.
Double duration.
That is
It's
the
good.
most worthless trade in the whole entire game.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's kind. I guess it's okay if you do. Does it double your leap finishes as well? Does it double all?
It does.
So you get if you go through a water field, you get double healing.
Yeah, the only problem is warrior doesn't have any water fields.
Yeah, but you'd have to leap through someone else's.
Yes.
That's
Powerful
his next elite
synergy with
specialization.
someone else.
Yeah, synergy, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they'll get a water field in their next specialization.
Will
Or
minstrel
they'll change that trait.
Will minstrel, mace, shield, dragon hunter ever be a heal such thing? Honestly, I would say that some kind of healing guardian with hammer is probably really strong. Actually,
It's not.
Not with healing power.
Stone
Just
guardian.
mass healing people with
Shield.
You think mace is better?
Mace Shield Guardian has ridiculous healing output.
No, I
It's
don't doubt it.
actually insane. I've played it, and I have friends that play it, and it's stupid.
Auras do not stack so
Considering-
mostly. Yeah, but they actually fuck
Considering that you can also block literally everything too, like it's stupid.
So I believe powerful synergy is specifically coded so that when you leap through a fire field, you get double duration on the auras. I believe that is the case. It is actually specifically designed in such a way that you do actually get double auras.
You do, yeah. You get 8 seconds.
You get double the duration. You should, I think. I'm almost well. There you go. Boots confirms it.
I think.
Confirmed.
I think I've tried it, and I think it was that.
Yeah.
But who cares?
There's a question about where was it? Dungeons. Oh, raid difficulty, 5-man dungeons in the next expansion, or more 10-man stuff.
There won't be 5-man dungeons.
The 5-man
fractals, maybe.
Hopefully, the 5-man content they're going to be pushing is going to be fractals, 100%. I think dungeons. ArenaNet just want to forget that even exists, and they're going to push these fractals. They're going to keep creating these challenge modes. That's going to be the go-to 5-man content for Guild Wars 2, I would expect.
Do you think
it actually has a progression system in it, and that's why they'll keep it?
Yep, and also they seem to have the framework in place to make the really good stuff like the Nightmare one.
In the next expansion, are they going to add more in at the earlier levels, or are they going to add, say, another 50 levels to the possibility of doing fractals?
Well, eventually they have to. They're going to run out of space, right? Yeah. They can only have 25, and then it's fully crowded, right? Because they have 4 tiers. So at that point, they have to lengthen it to something.
I'm hoping that when we get the next expansion, that there's actually fractals available day one, like with the expansion, and not this continued rollout.
There needs to be there needs to be stuff like that.
What worries me about that is, and we don't know for sure, but from what we understand, there's only one fractal team working on the current fractal content, which has been pretty good.
And then, but on top of that, though, the last fractal we got, didn't it start as like a pet project? Like it wasn't even part of the fractal.
That's what they said.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. So.
But that guy works. He's in charge of the fractal team, I believe.
Now. Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but anyway, I hope that there's a number of new fractals that come at the time of release of an expansion.
Yeah.
But
I would hope there would be a
little bit.
Yeah, I would definitely hope there's a lot more content in the box, right? Just from the start. Right. That's what the next expansion needs to have to be successful, I think. Because that was one of the big problems with Heart of Thorns, is the lack of just stuff that you could immediately get into and start. I mean, you had to wait a long time for raids, right?
So
and then even longer for fractals, etc., etc.
What if... Oh, gosh, it's kind of scary. So what if for the next expansion it is similar in size to Heart of Thorns, but cheaper, and they continued their current pace of content without downtime?
I mean, for me, I would still pay the same price, right? I don't think it's I genuinely don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think the price, considering the value you get over time, is unreasonable for Heart of Thorns, right? It's nearly full price. I think that's fine. I don't know.
Someone says no.
Someone says no. Oh.
I'll give you $10.
$10 for the next Guild Wars 2 expansion.
$10.
And just think of the value. You get so much value out of MMOs. You get so much value out of MMOs. No one can complain about the value. Come on, guys. Let's be honest.
How cheap?
Even if you've been doing all multi-loot, if you've been nothing but Tyria multi-loot, you're still getting your money's worth.
What was the price that people were saying it should be?
20.
Like $25, $30?
20.
$30 would be my what I think is like the great price for it. At like any higher, I'd be like, this is a little expensive. But I'd probably pay up to 50 again.
I'd pay 50.
Yeah.
I mean, I
so
don't know.
$20-$30, let's say.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people here saying they would pay full price, but I've seen the complaint a lot from people saying that Heart of Thorns was overpriced, right? So that's why I'm saying a reduced price with the same size, but no increased downtime this time around.
Yeah, but this time you won't get like 3 additional character slots for some reason with it.
Well, I don't think there's going to be a new race. I don't think that there's going to be obviously there won't be a new profession. There'll be new elite specializations, but you know.
You think there's gonna be a new profession in the next expansion?
No, I don't. I don't.
No, there won't be.
Yeah, there won't be a new profession.
New
I
elite
really don't
specializations,
think.
though.
I really don't think we're going to get a new race. So
I'm still
that
hoping
leaves
for new
elite
weapons.
specializations. Maybe new weapons with elite specializations, but even then, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd pay full price for it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, especially if there's no content drought. I think that the real thing that upset people about Hearth Thorns was the fact that literally nothing happened for an incredibly long amount of time, and then they finally got back into their rhythm. And one of the first things they had to do was fix the broken shit in the expansion, right? That was kind of the double. That was the double meme.
Yeah. So if it's full price, $50, and none of the bad stuff happens, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah, sure.
Very satisfied.
I mean, I'm satisfied with Heart of Thorns. I think people who are unsatisfied are mildly unreasonable. I mean, it's an MMO. You're going to get so much value out of it, and there's no sub fee. If there was a sub fee, yeah, you can be salty as fuck, right? Because you're paying for the time. But seeing as there's no sub fee, I think it's difficult to justify complaining about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bring back good story and interesting maps. I mean, it's subjective, right?
I'm sure people like. I'm sure there are some people who like Timey.
I love the Heart of Thorns maps. Like, maybe almost everything about them. I like them a lot. I don't know. They're just kind of dark and mysterious, and there's cool stuff that goes on. I really enjoy them. But I hate the story. I like the like personal story stuff up until you pick the like order to join. And then after that, everything that ever comes after that has been bad so far. Aside from the White Mantle and the raid stuff, that's actually been pretty good.
If all that leak stuff that happened like a few months ago is accurate, and the next expansion is probably the Crystal Desert, that means that you're going after Kralkatork, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means that we probably have dealt with both Jormag and Primordus by then.
No, I'll tell you what it
living
means.
World.
I'll tell you what it means. No, it is going to happen in the living world.
There's no way. There's no way.
Because one of the dragons, I don't know which one it's going to be, but one of the dragons is going to actually kill the other. It's probably going to wake up first, and it's probably going to be like Braum going to piss off Jormag, and he gets mad, and then like he eats Primordus, or Primordus eats him. And so now we have like a supercharged dragon because Timey and Braum's ideas were both really bad. And so then we have a super dragon fighting Kralkatork at the same time. And so we have to have Lazarus and Palawa Joko help us out.
Yeah, it always comes back to Joko, huh?
It's him. You heard it here first. Yeah, I told you that Donald Trump was going to get elected.
It's true, you were right about that. You were right about that.
Brazil, how mad would you be if we get into the next expansion and like we find just randomly in some place the desiccated remains of Palawa Joko because he died like 25 years ago or something?
Not gonna happen.
But like if that happened and it's like, okay, it's not part of the storyline, what would happen?
Well, my initial thought when they did that just to troll me. So why else would you do that? The second, like I would hope if that's the case that someone took his power and became him. Someone like ate him. That's what necromancers apparently do in Skyrim and stuff. They eat each other.
Eat people.
So
delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good time to end. Let us outroduce ourselves, I suppose. Let's see. World of Boots, World of Enders.
That's
Who are you? Well, yeah.
I am
Who
all
are
of
you?
those things. I am just a man. Just
Oh,
a man with a
okay.
big heart. And
Is it
I have a channel.
repeatable daily?
Yep,
What the fuck is this shit?
it is. So yeah, I have a channel, World of Enders. I got videos on it sometimes, and you can follow it.
And he's gonna
Yeah.
have a brand new Bad
Do it.
Boots build next week.
Oh yeah, am I?
Yeah.
I think I'm maybe.
So
No.
make sure everybody tweet at Boots. Where's my bad build?
Yep. We had it confirmed here. You have to get a new build. Yes. Come on. Yeah. New build. New build. Let's go. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go and watch the other ones. Go and watch the other bad builds. Come on. Do it. Do it. Okay. And what do we have here? We have the one, the only. It is MMO Inks.
Yeah. I mean, I think pretty much everybody here knows, but you can follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, at MMO Inks. I should be. I don't want to jinx it. Could be a new computer in the new year, which would mean I could stream again. Could be exciting.
Oh my
Some
God.
requests?
Wait,
Hopefully
did
you don't get one.
If
Some
disaster
requests?
doesn't hit, then that should happen.
What's disaster?
Do I want to say it and jinx myself?
Knock on wood first.
So I could die in a plane crash, then go back. I could get terminal cancer. I could have another animal die on me. That would be pretty fucking terrible.
I don't see anything wrong with any of those.
I could, I don't know, go to jail or something.
Okay, but if none of those specific
Yeah.
things happen, you'll have a new computer.
If my house doesn't get set on fire by my neighbors, you know, any of the normal stuff that people have to deal with and live with on a normal basis.
Yeah.
So it's a good
Okay.
possibility.
So, you guys know what to do. If none of that happens, be sure to tune into
Yeah.
Inks' stream. There'll be song requests. Song requests will be on. Don't you worry about that. You can request
have
your
a s- I-
favorite
I have-
songs.
I have a system for that. Yep.
Will anything with alternative version be allowed to play?
For a price, anything can play.
Oh!
He needs
Donate!
to make that
Donate
yeah.
for song
not
requests.
money, not
Confirmed.
money. Time.
Oh,
Time.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And in the bottom left-hand corner, weighing in at £8 million, it is Brazil DNT, Brazil Duck NT, Brazil Haiku Dragon NT.
Hi, I'm Robo Frodo, and I got kicked from ES. Ask me anything.
Nice.
I heard that you were a great druid, Robo Frodo.
Yeah, I
And you-
wiped my group in the Nightmare Fractal over and over because I didn't heal.
Can you sing Ocean Brobo for us?
Brazil was forced to run Parasitic Contagion because Broa didn't heal. He had to heal himself.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. He had to run Rise and Parasitic Contagion, otherwise it wouldn't cut it. That's the only way. And then Minstrel Chrono on top of that. And that was to heal Brobo, actually, because Brobo was suiciding constantly.
Uh-oh, guys. Brobo's triggered.
I've taken Brobo under my wing. He's walked through a new door now.
Are you teaching him to become an elitist?
No.
He was already that.
Yeah,
Brobo is gonna evolve. Brobo is gonna
Oh,
be. He's
he will
gonna
evolve.
become something new.
Alright,
Ooh.
and now the last thing you need to do after you follow, subscribe to all these people is, of course, follow this channel, then subscribe to this channel to get access to the best emotes on Twitch. Teapot Mimesis, for example, Teapot Clown, Teapot Easy, all these things are things that you want, guys, okay? You want this stuff. And then go follow me on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. There's going to be raid tournament VODs soon, because, yeah, that's a thing. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you around. We host now.